Machina.
Are we live? Yeah? Ustream.tv/ Big J is here. Big J is here. Bam. And I'm tweeting. And we're live. What the fuck, Big J? Welcome back, sir. I heard you were punching white people in Baltimore. Is that true? You just ran around just punching random white people?
That's it. Well, you got to get all the fans you can get, right?
If you want to be down, that's the move right now. Be super upset with white people.
I had an argument with a comic about Baltimore this week. I was like, he was very pro, like the violent protest of it. Whoa. White dude, white, like, you know, like hipster white comic, I would say. And I was so surprised because I always thought they were supposed to be the tender guys. And his comment, I couldn't believe the coldness in him saying, he was like, so big fucking deal that, you know, they tear apart a CVS. He goes, who gives a shit, man? There's people getting killed in the street. You know, the cops are killing people in the streets. And it's like, but who cares? Like, the fucking owner of the CVS? Like, why does he have to eat shit for it?
It's totally unrelated. They did it in Ferguson to businesses that were owned by black people. I mean, there were some instances of people burning down businesses that had absolutely nothing to do with any of the pro-police, you know, group. They were people that just lived in the community, and then all of a sudden everything got smashed. In Oakland, when the guy got shot in Oakland, there was they smashed a bank, and someone wrote "fuck capitalism" on it. Like, okay, really? Like, is that what this is about? The fucking cop killing the guy is about capitalism?
Is that the other one, the accident, or the, you know, quote-unquote accident in the train station?
Yeah, that one was fucked.
Did you see the movie they made of it?
No.
They made a movie of it. I like when they do this with a lot of Hollywood stuff. It's just such a hilarious phoned-in thing. Was if you remember, even like do you remember the Biggie Smalls movie? Did you ever see that one?
I never saw it. What was it? Did you see it, Brian?
No.
It's called Notorious.
No. Oh, yeah.
I saw it once.
Yeah,
I mean, I saw it once.
Who the fuck played Biggie?
It actually was pretty good.
Really?
The preview looked like he did a good job.
Young Jamie, pull up a fucking preview.
Oh, the guy
I need to see this.
The guy did a
good
good job, I guess. But what they just did was funny was the night he died in the movie, like he made phone calls to everyone, and he's like, you know, to his wife, like, I'm going to be good to you. Told his mom,
oh no,
we never have to worry about money again. And all these like things that are not true. In that Fruitvale Station movie, which is about the Oakland guy, like, they literally made that day, like, you know, the guy he sold drugs for came and gave him drugs, and he was like, nah, I don't want to do this shit no more.
No!
I'm going to be better to my daughter. Yeah, they made like,
no.
and the thing is like.
You can't just make shit like that up.
Yeah, and another comedian actually named Chris Tinkle, like, pointed out, because he knew the story. He's from that area, and he said, he was like, it's already tragic anyway.
Yes.
This is a tragic situation. That kid got killed. Whatever was going on, he probably didn't deserve to get killed by a cop, you know? So, accidentally or otherwise. So it's just like, why would you have to add like and he was going to go back, he was going to go to University of Phoenix online?
Dude, I can spell it out nice and simple. This is exactly what it is. There's a very high percentage of the movie business that's filled with wonderful, creative people. Fantastic folks who just want to make good movies like Ex Machina. I saw Ex Machina this week. Holy shit, is that good? God damn, that's
really?
A good movie.
Amazing special effects. Was it one of those movies?
One of the best movies I've ever seen in my life, and I don't want to say anything more about it. We'll talk about a little bit, but the point is, most of them are trying to do shit like that. But there are a few out there, and those ones will stand out, and they will just fucking jizz. They will just fucking jizz on anything. Jizz in every soup you make. They got to add their little fucking spooge to all your ideas, and they fuck everything up, man. And especially, it's gross, especially gross when they do a real live story. A lot of times with dudes who are still alive, and they just butcher the story, like that fucking wrestler movie. What the fuck was that? We've talked about it before. What's it called?
Foxcatcher?
Fox.
Oh, yeah.
The one about John Hunt, or what is it? Hunt? John?
Mark Hunt.
No, Mark Hunt's a fighter.
Mike Hunt.
Yeah.
What is the guy's name?
Mark
John, pharmaceutical company.
Yeah, John DuPont.
DuPont, thank you. John DuPont, who's a crazy, murderous cocaine fiend who shot this wrestler, Dave Schultz, who's a famous wrestler. Well, the movie's about his brother, Mark Schultz, who's still alive, and they just add a bunch of shit to it, make a bunch of shit up, change the timeline around, change the success story of his life.
Also throw some kind of like a gay undertone shit for no reason.
Gay and coke, doing coke with a gay guy.
You got frosted tips and like these
short shorts. The whole thing was like, what's going on here? What are you doing, man?
Do you know what's one of the biggest messes? I'm from Philly, and that story happened in Pennsylvania, you know, outside of Philadelphia.
I thought it was Connecticut.
No,
that Foxcatcher thing is in Philly? That was
it's outside Philly. It's Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow. I'm confused.
But
I think it was like
John DuPont, It was like a multiple day also, one of the most interesting things was that it was a standoff for days with the cops.
Yeah.
But they made it like he killed the guy and then he walked out of his house and they just arrested him. Like it was such like a, they speed through all the things that are real and interesting to add some weird Hollywood. Like they have to force in the fact that maybe he was gay for this guy. It had nothing to do with anything.
They just decided to make him gay, just to make the story more fun.
You want to give me airhead in my helicopter?
Yeah, they're hanging out, doing bumps on the helicopter, eyeing each other, sweating. Just the whole thing was so fun. Dude, they changed shit that they didn't have to change, like historical shit, like the fact that he was already a world champion, one of the best wrestlers on earth. They made him out to be like a guy who was failing and falling apart. They also had him fight in the UFC.
Yeah.
He did fight once in the UFC, but against a white guy. In the real UFC, fought against a black guy named Big Gary Goodrich. It's a historic match.
Yeah.
It's a like if you're a martial arts historian, that match is a historic match because he was an Olympic gold medalist who came and just took down one of the best MMA fighters at the time at will and showed the difference between like world class wrestling and this fucking bullshit that these guys were doing in the gym. They were infants in comparison to his like wrestling skill. But they changed the timeline of it. They had him watching the UFC in '87. The UFC wasn't even made until '93. So they just fucked with everything just to gay it up and add a little of this and a little just to get a little fucking hunched over the script. Yeah, that was my idea. I basically saw it. The script, man, the story structure just didn't work. There was something missing. Gay stuff.
When they get those actors, they don't want to like it to just be in like independent film theaters.
Yeah.
So they gotta Hollywood some horseshit story into it all.
It's just it's so depressing that they do that to a movie that's a real story, because then you have in your head, oh, well, he almost got gay with the guy. He did coke. He saw the UFC in '87. You have all these things in your head, and then you start reading. And you go, whoa, hold that. That's not the case. Like, there was, like, he wrote a list on Facebook, Mark Schultz did, of all the inaccuracies of the Foxcatcher movie. It's fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They fucked with everything. They changed
and he didn't even
everything.
know because he was like a consultant on the movie, I believe.
Well, I'm sure he probably knew a little, but what the fuck is he going to do? They're probably giving him an assload of money, right? You know?
Yeah. We're going to frost your tips.
He's a wrestler, wrestling coach at Brigham Young. I mean, he had to stop MMA fighting because the school that he was teaching wrestling at didn't want him doing it. It was a different time. Yeah. You know, it was like 96 or 97 or whatever the fuck it was when he fought.
That was right on the end of like UFC being like sumo wrestler fights a ninja.
It was still that. Right. He was still using bare knuckles. There was still, I think you could still wear shoes. When I started, you could wear shoes. You couldn't punch the balls when I first got there. You couldn't punch the balls, and you couldn't. I don't think you could pull hair anymore. They got rid of that early on.
It's so fun. Growing up, I watched a documentary recently too, the UFC 20.
Yeah.
And like having that go through my life, like watching that sport grow in my lifetime. For me, I remember me and my stepfather ordered the first one ever.
Wow.
When it was tournament style, and you had to go out and fight like 3 times. And we thought it was like the greatest thing of all time. But now to watch it go from like, you know, no shoes, no gis, no gouging, all these things that, you know, that has to happen. And then they go, oh yeah, no, you can't just break a guy's finger because you're losing.
Yeah, well, it's why can't you? If you break a guy's arm, how come you can't break a guy's finger? Like, I disagree with like all the thoughts about like small joint manipulation, because the reality is, if someone's trying to manipulate your joint, like the only way that would it usually works in defense. Like, say if you're trying to grab a guy and you're trying to choke him and he starts pulling on your fingers, well, you could just pull your fingers away. You know, it's not like it's automatic that he's going to break your fingers.
Sure.
You just have to be more aware of it. Like, it's realistic. Like, if all this guy has to do is pull your finger back to stop you from doing a choke, well, then he did the right thing. Why are you taking that away from him when it's okay for him to choke you?
Oh, yeah, you have to like actually get under the hand itself completely, right?
Yeah,
like, you can't,
but why are you taking away the guy's ability to pull on your fingers? Yeah, well, if he pulls on your fingers, you better get your fingers out of there and then try to choke him again.
Yeah,
you know, it just makes sense to me.
I actually thought, because it never happens, that I thought there was a rule of no choking in the UFC, like a direct on like choke, like you're choking someone against the wall. But you can do that apparently. It's the most unrealistic move. It's the same reason no one headlocks like you did in the schoolyard as a kid, where you know you have the guy like in a bulldog position,
right?
Like, you know, I mean, it's like the more that so rarely ever happens
Indian
in UFC.
burns.
Honestly, I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. I think it is illegal to grab the neck like that. I think it's illegal to do
straight
that.
on.
Yeah, I think it used to be legal, but now it's illegal.
Really?
I need to find out about that. There was something about, well, there's a bunch of weird spots that you can't do. Like, do you know you can't hit a guy in the back of the head?
Yeah.
Can't hit a guy in the back.
Sure.
But You get kicked in the back of the head all the time. When you get hit with a head kick, one of the things about a head kick is, you know, the shin's kind of coming around here, and a lot of times, like a high percentage, the foot and the instep are bang, wrapping right around the back of your head, way fucking harder than you can ever punch. Like, so the idea that you don't get hit in the back of the head is crazy because there's a totally legal shot that's basically the back of the head. Nobody ever gets in trouble for kicking somebody in the back of the head. And it happens all the time. It's just ground and pound. When you're grounded and pounding is usually when guys get in trouble for hitting the back of the head, which is the most ridiculous because that's when guys are moving around.
Yeah,
you know?
he's trying to protect himself. Like, if all you got to do is get to the back of your head.
But stand-up wise, a lot of guys get hit in the back of the head. They get hit with clubbing punches, like when in melees. They never get in trouble for that. And there's a lot of elbows that go to the back of the head because they're up against the cage and in areas where you get in trouble hitting them somehow in ground and pound. It seems almost like elbows to the back of the head and punches to the back of the head are really only recognized clearly when it's ground and pound.
Well, yeah, man, what was that? Was it Diego Sanchez elbowing the top of Clay Guida's head? Like I don't know how those weren't like illegal. Like, it seems like by the rules that should have been illegal. They
well,
were
the top
direct
is
shots.
fine. The top is fine. It's the base of the skull that's supposed to be the real danger area. It's the back of the head and the base of the skull.
Oh, you get elbow top of the head?
Yes.
Like directly? Oh, okay.
The top of the head's fine. The top of the head's fine. The sides of the head are fine. And there's like been a bunch of debate about like what is they call the mohawk. The mohawk meaning this is the area that can't hit.
Right.
The mohawk in the back of the head, like that strip down where the spine is. Some people extend it more towards the ears, and some people keep it more narrow, and some people lower it so it's just the base. Some people think that like right here, like sort of the mid back of the head is fine. So it's open to debate, but the idea is ultimately that the base of the spine is very dangerous to hit. And then if you hit someone there really hard, you might be able to separate their fucking brain from their spinal column. Hi-yi-yi!
Son of a bitch.
It was a big move in the old days. See, in the old days, one of the best moves was you would take a guy's back and then you would smash the back of his head with elbows. Like Renzo Gracie did that to like this judo specialist that he fought. And God, I want to say like, I forget the organization. It might have been Mars, or it might have been like one of those like really, really young, old school martial arts promotions that never really made it. So Renzo gets this guy down, gets his back, and just fucking boom, boom, just smashes the back of his head because it's totally illegal back then. And you realize like that takes away all your rear naked chokes, all that stuff. That's like not even nearly as effective as doing that. Like, if you got a guy's head, if you got him face down and you're smashing the back of his head with elbows while you have the back mount in, there's very little he can do to defend that. It used to be legal.
It's, you know, it's funny, and even the stuff they take away from the sport, it still stays 1,000 times more interesting than boxing.
You see, man, everybody says that, right? But I really found that fight interesting. I'm of the minority that thought that it was a really interesting fight. Yeah, everybody was mad. You know, we waited for this, we waited for that. I'm like, come on, as a person who appreciates boxing, that fight to me was pretty wild. It was intense to watch because you know Manny Pacquiao has been able to get his gloves on everybody he fights. Everybody he fights, he lights up. He gets a hold of you eventually, and he lights you up. And you might get him, like Marquez got him, but before Marquez got him, it's not like Pacquiao didn't crack him. You know, they were going back and forth and back and forth. Just Marquez has a legendary chin and awesome punching power, and he eventually knocked Pacquiao out. Yeah. But Pacquiao is in these wars with Margarito, wars with Cotto, you know, just bashed the shit out of Chris Algieri. He's real slick and moves real well. Just gets you.
He's a pretty boy white guy.
He's a pretty boy white guy, but he's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
But Manny Pacquiao just could not get to Floyd. Then one time he did get them, it's like nothing. You know, it's like Floyd just covered up, used his defense, kept shaking his head like, nope, nothing, nope, nothing. Like Manny just couldn't get him. To me, that was impressive as fuck. The way he was moving, like every time Manny would come for that blitz, Floyd was gone. He just wasn't there. You know, it was just super slick boxing to me.
I'm from Philly, so I spent a lifetime with Bernard Hopkins, you know, just watching him and rooting for him of these really long, slow fights. They really are like, they just take forever. I think Floyd Mayweather's kind of the same thing for me. You know, I just watched, again, man, did you see that Tyson documentary that's on cable all the time where it's just him sitting and talking in the white shirt? When they go to that footage, once in a while I'll even watch that. Fox Sports will do the, you know, the all day, just Tyson's fights. But watching that early footage of him training and just how fast he was and what he was doing, how come there hasn't been another Mike Tyson since Mike Tyson? There's been arguably 6 Jordans since Jordan. You know what I mean?
You need a lot of things to come together correctly to make a Mike Tyson. You need a lot of things.
Also, that talent, I think, in the last decade jumps to MMA.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, there's still a lot of guys who really like boxing. You know, I got in a famous argument years back with this guy Lou DiBella on ESPN, where I was telling him that boxing was going to get swallowed up by the UFC, by MMA, by a more dynamic sport. But I would have never done that if that guy wasn't a dick. Like, I like boxing. I've always liked boxing. I've been a huge fan since I was a little kid, man. Just always been a fan of it. I also am a big fan of kickboxing. I'm a big fan of Glory, and I'm a big fan of Muay Thai, because I think that there's things that you pull off in just straight kickboxing or boxing that you just can't do in MMA, because guys will clinch you, they'll throw you to the ground. You can't get it off. You can't do most of this shit Floyd Mayweather does with leg kicks. As soon as leg kicks are in the mix,
sure,
you can't do most of this shit. But to me, what he's doing is incredible. I mean, it's artistic. He's beating the game. He's going out at 48-0 with no brain scrambles.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only been like tagged that I can remember twice, 3 times at maximum. Never been really fucking battered to the point where the fight's going to be stopped and he's got to come back like Gotti Ward or anything like that. None of that shit.
But if you're going to stay interested in boxing now, you have to be a real fan of like the sweet science, you know what I mean? Like the quote unquote, because like there's just no, I mean, it's just people want to see knockout. You know, at the end of the day, we're all standing outside the gladiator cage and we all want to see, like, you know, people get knocked out. You want to see that violence that you, like, MMA's such a scary thing to the layman that boxing's become less scary, because you're like, look at the size of those gloves. Like, these guys are going multiple rounds and they're getting hit with, you know, there's like a sponge over your fist a little bit, you know, like.
Yeah, it's definitely.
So it's so much more. I think it just like draws.
You can't go backwards.
People's attention more. You can.
I can. I don't. I really. I mean, I'm not just saying this.
Here's what you'll never do. You'll never have a girl will never go retroactive from UFC. To boxing,
will?
I don't think so. But you can get girls very easily. I find get into UFC.
Really?
I think girls get into UFC very, very easily.
What do you think that is? That's some gladiator gene shit. They want to get some gladiator sperm in their body.
I think there's that actual. Yeah, I think there's like the machismo of the whole thing, and then also in UFC very specifically, but in most of the televised MMA stuff, actually, I mean, UFC really does it like the best. Like if you just give your girl 2 episodes of like the build-up shit, like Dana Cormier, John Jones, like she invested interest in that, because we watched. I made her go back and watch John Jones. Like first thing when he came out, he was the hero.
You put her on a course.
Yeah. Oh, I just like made her watch, you know, that half-hour thing of him, like, you know, right. I saved the old woman from getting robbed and all this thing, and and his story and his kind of hard luck story and growing up, and she was like, wow, I really like this guy. And I'm like, yeah, watch his things now. Like his personality is different, and he just made himself like the villain sort of.
Well, I don't think.
But I think villains in actual sports, though, not wrestling. What's funny about that? I think in any kind of sport, actually, like, you know, even someone who hates the Yankees, like if you meet A-Rod, you're probably still like Mr. Rodriguez. You know, you're meeting like a sports celebrity to some degree. You know what I mean? Like I'd always say like fuck Michael Jordan. Like I'm not like a Bulls fan ever, but it'd be amazing to meet Michael Jordan. You know what I mean?
Well, don't you think like right now is a great time to get chicks into it too, because of Ronda Rousey? Like there's never been never been a female fighter like Ronda Rousey, a hot chick that beats the fuck out of everybody. Like,
she's so hot. Dude, she really is.
There's a video of her with Luke Rockhold, and she's got Luke Rockhold in what we call spiderweb. It's when you try to finish an armbar. Luke Rockhold is a fucking monster. Okay, yeah. He's like 6'3", he cuts down to 185. He's usually way over 200 pounds. He's a fucking stud at jiu-jitsu. And Ronda she completes the armbar on him. Like he's defending, like he's really defending, and she completes it, and he has to tap. That's how badass she is. Like, I don't think you know. Like, if you've never been armbarred before, you don't know how ridiculous that is. Like a guy like Luke Rockhold should have like retarded defense. Like he's an ace level MMA black belt. Like look at this. This is Luke Rockhold on the bottom here. Okay, Luke Rockhold again is world class in the UFC at 185 pounds. Just beat the fuck out of Lyoto Machida. I mean, destroyed him. Took him to the ground, controlled him, smashed him, finished out the round. And here he is trying to defend against Ronda Rousey's armbar. And she's got a bunch of different techniques she uses to attack the grip that he's using. She keeps adjusting and readjusting. Now, see how he stepped over her head right there? That's like fucking DEFCON 4. Like, he knows he's in some serious trouble. Because if she straightens out his arm, he's done and he's got to tap. And she's seconds away from straightening out his arm. And he's going to get to the situation. He's tap, tap. He had to tap. She fucking tapped him, dude. She fights at 135 as a woman. He fights 50 pounds heavier.
That's crazy.
As one of the best men in the world. That's how fucking good her armbar technique is. There's never been a fighter in any fucking sport like her before. No, that's like a total pioneer. Like,
Yeah,
there's no one before her like her.
She so impressed me on that last one. Was it Katzengana?
Yeah.
Because I know it was over in 14 seconds, but watching it just in real time, I was like, that was a series of lucky things that worked out for her in that position. And then
Not luck, though.
No, I know.
luck.
And then when she said in the interview, she said, I've been working on that, doing
That
the
transition,
the
yeah.
armbar from that transition. And she, and then when you watch it in slow motion, you see her make a fucking decision.
Yeah.
To step over her body. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Yeah, she's terrifying. She really
terrifying.
is, like, and she's not like a, Cyborg was terrifying, but so much because of the size.
Right.
It wasn't like any kind of a necessary. I mean, she had a skill set, but it wasn't that was so. It was just like she was 1,000 times bigger. No,
Kind of like a man.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be. I mean,
It was
nobody
like China.
wants
It
to
was
say
like China
that.
at her height.
No, way worse than China. Way worse than
just
China.
big
because,
wise.
Yeah, but she was like the size. But it was different because you were getting to see her actually hit people. Like like China was really impressive because she was big and strong, and you're like she was on Fear Factor. Like, China's yoked. I mean, she's a big girl. Like, if you had to wrestle her, that's a goddamn tussle. That's a big gal. She's strong
You
as
ever see
fuck.
that sex tape with?
Let's just
That's
stop.
wrestling.
Stop.
Pussy boner.
Stop it.
That's total
I'm
wrestling.
trying to forget.
Did you watch the one where she did anal?
Oh, that was even better.
Jesus! There
The
was
pro one?
more than one. There was more
She
than
did pro
one.
one. She did professional porns.
Poor
It fell
gal.
apart, but yeah, she did one where it's backdoor to
What is-
China.
Had a
what
little
does
poop on it.
Ew! Did it?
I remember it having a little poop.
But it was like a really famous porn dude.
Oh, God.
Went for it.
Poor bastard. Both of them. I don't know. But my point was, like, when you're not supposed to say that Cyborg looked like a man, but when she was beating the fuck out of like Gina Carano, she was built like a man. It wasn't like the classic female body type. So when she got busted for male steroids, everybody's like, duh,
Of course, yeah.
She looks different now, though, man. She's become more feminine, a lot more feminine. But there's an honest debate as to how much of what you do to your body when you alter it that severely, how much you change that's permanent. Like, they've done these studies on athletes that have taken anabolic steroids, and they've had permanent effects on their strength. Permanent. Like, not just temporary, but permanent. Like, permanent improvements in strength. And so they wonder, like, how much of, her getting off the male hormones, like, how much does she lose? Does she lose all of it? Is it still fair? I mean, what is it?
Well, I don't know. My stepfather, I think, is a pretty naturally strong guy, but he did a bunch of steroids when he was younger. Powerlifting, that's what he did. Mm-hmm. And, even through his 40s, and, he's in his 50s now, like, the guy can still go out there and bench on just a day, throw up like 350 pounds. I remember in his 30s, like, doing like 455 and shit. And he's not, he weighs like, $170, $175.
Yeah, those powerlifter dudes, man, that's a totally different type of move in your body. That's like some severe strength that's required to do like all those.
But I'm saying, but
deadlifts and
the
cleans.
steroids, I believe, like, definitely, you still build a base. I think is what happened. I think it raises your base.
It definitely
base
can.
level.
I mean, according to these studies. But the question is, it gets more complicated when it's a woman, because it's not even like she took like more of what she already had.
Yeah.
She actually introduced some stuff that she's not supposed to have. I mean, you do have a little bit of testosterone when you're a woman, but nothing like the levels that they take when they get into bodybuilding or powerlifting. Like the women that, like, even track and field women, people get caught all the time taking shit because it works.
It changes their. Have you ever seen like bodybuilder porn, like girl bodybuilder porn, like just nude pictures? Like, it's.
Dude.
It's a man's body.
I was watching one of those My Strange Addiction shows, and there was this lady that was addicted to bodybuilding, and her sister was on as a point of reference. It was really interesting. Like, her sister's like, "You're getting bigger. Are you going to keep getting bigger?" She's like, "I just love it. This is what I look like now. I love it. I can't wait. How often do you work out?" And she's like, "Oh, I work out like 3 days a week." She's like, "I work out 7 hours a day." She was working out 6, 7 hours a day. Her fucking head was as big as Tito Ortiz's and my head glued together. She's a giant fucking neck, huge traps. Look at this broad. Is that her? Yeah. Is that the one from the show? Yeah. Look at the size of this lady. Jesus fucking Christ.
Me and years ago, maybe 2005 or something like that, 2006, me and Patrice did the Nasty show in Montreal together. And after the show, there was a bodybuilder chick who was white girl, way into him, and really and she was just saying stuff like so sexy to him. Patrice was so like weird. I mean, he didn't do anything with her, but I remember him saying he goes, "I might just have to wrestle this big bitch."
I was with a jiu-jitsu girl once. That was very intimidating.
Really? Yeah, but she's a regular sized gal. She's an actual.
No, this other one I don't know if you know about.
Oh, is it a different one?
But yeah, I've been with 3 jiu-jitsu chicks before, and one was definitely bigger than the other ones, and she just had one of those big bodies, and I remember her vagina was very clean and like no hair, but yet it had that explosion of pussy lip, like brown pussy lip, like it was like a meaty vagina, and it was weird. It was a weird.
I've never even fucked a chick with abs, I don't think, ever.
I had one gal that was a bodybuilder when I was like really young. I think I was 21. And I dated this gal from New Hampshire who had a 6-pack. It was weird.
Yeah,
she had a great body though. Her legs were incredible.
I mean, that like in a dress, like those bodies in dresses look great sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, the girl's just like not abs like bodybuilder abs, but just like a girl who's like toned abs.
A girl who's strong but looks like a girl. Like there's a difference between a girl strong looks like a girl or a gal like, no offense, the lady in those photographs was most likely on some male hormones. I mean, get the fuck out of here. That's Vitor Belfort in Brazil. I mean, look at the size of that chick. She looks like Mark Coleman when he won the heavyweight title.
But you can that male hormone is why their faces look. That wasn't the face she was destined to have.
No, she has a man's face. Yeah, now. She's very manly. I mean, like monster-like.
It's really weird touching a girl also when it's hard as a rock and not like soft and cushy and.
But I mean, okay, here's the question. Is that better or worse than someone who eats themselves into a gelatinous wall of meat?
I would take fat over that.
Really?
Yep.
Like for a gal, for your lady friend?
For someone you're going to hook up with? Fat chicks are awesome, yeah.
I would hook up. I'd hook up with a, I mean, for the story, I'd go that direction.
For life.
So you think like if you could get her off the sauce, she could probably woman up a little bit, right?
They
like
do.
How much would she woman up? But she would still retain a bunch of it. You know how I know? Because there's a gal that lives in my friend's neighborhood, and I go to visit him, and she was apparently some Olympian bodybuilder back in the Dizay, and now she's like in her 50s, and she looks like a monster.
Really?
She looks like a monster.
Just faces all.
She looks. It's like, and when I say monster, I don't mean like the worst monster. I mean like, like it'd be kind of scary. It's just what she did was turn herself into a semi-male, semi-female thing. Yeah. Like she's changed. Like her appearance has changed, and it's become, you know, she's become more male than you're supposed to be, or than she was. You know.
Yeah. So, you know,
you can't go back either. I don't think you can. I think they could probably like. I saw a gal had her chin shaved down. She was some big bodybuilder lady, power lifter, martial artist.
China did something like that.
She had her chin shaved down because her chin got too big.
Stop.
China did all that. China used to have that square face, and then she changed. Like she became much more feminine.
When they start opening your skin, grinding down your bones. They said that Arnold had that done too. And Arnold had developed a very large upper brow area. And then, like, there's, like, before and after. Like, if you look at him in Conan and you look at him...
Skull shaving?
Yeah, and they shaved his skull down to something more reasonable.
Have you ever...
That's just a rumor, though. That's one of those rumors like the Richard Gere gerbil one. Well, you never really know.
Me and my buddy literally just talked about this. Those urban myths. Like, that was actually the gerbil up the ass was a specific Philadelphia newscaster that used to say it about in Philly. Like, that story, that urban legend. And the other one was... you know, pumping a gallon of cum at a Rod Stewart. Yeah.
But wait a minute, you think you know the origin, like where it started from?
Well, that's literally what we were talking about earlier, was that, like, it's amazing how that got around so many years before the internet. Like that's you know, for rumors to happen now is simple. One person of any kind of, like, you know, who has any kind of ear or any kind of voice for people, you know, like says something and it becomes gospel to some people.
Yeah, we've talked about it a bunch of times that that's the mother of all rumors. Like that no other rumor came close, because Eddie Bravo grew up in L.A. I grew up in Boston. We both heard about it at the same time. Yeah, you lived in Columbus, so it made its way across the entire country.
Rod Stewart.
But the Rod Stewart one was nothing compared. The Rod Stewart one was what? He had his stomach pumped. Why didn't he just throw up? It didn't make any sense. I had it thrown up. I'm like, this is ridiculous. How much cum did he drink? Come on.
It's a silly thing about it.
That's ridiculous. Just puke. Why do you have to go to the hospital?
How much cum could it have possibly been?
Are you going to go to a hospital and tell them you drank cum? Why? Are they going to test it? How the fuck do they know what it is? You have to tell them it's cum. What is it? I don't know. It's fucking milk or glue or something? Come on.
So much that has to come out.
Yeah.
He's blowing Peter North.
Can you imagine going to the hospital and just, first of all, I thought about how much I came at the time. I was a young boy. I was probably like 12 when that rumor came out, and I was thinking about how much I can come. I'm like, how much more could a grown adult possibly come? It doesn't even make any sense. Like, how much could be in my body?
Like, is he going to baby bird cum? Like, that's how much cum? Like, he just has a gallon?
I'm taking that back, because, you know, now that I think about it, I think this came out when I was 12, so I probably had never come yet.
Just that weird little shiver?
I probably really didn't even know, like, what the actual volume would be, so that doesn't make any sense. But I just did, like, they said it was like quarts or gallons or something like that.
But at 12, you knew what cum was. You just knew it wasn't happening to you.
You can't really find it back then either.
When did Pretty Woman come out? Because it came out after that.
Was way later. That was way later.
Didn't it come out after that? That's why we all knew who Richard Gere was?
No, everybody knew who he was
He's
before
from,
that. Officer and Gentleman. American Gigolo. He was in a lot of big movies, dude.
It seemed like it came out around Pretty Woman.
But what's I going to say?
Probably just came up again because that was like the next big hit he did.
It's just amazing that it made it all the way across the country like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The word was that he had left Scientology. And that Scientology, where did I get this word? I have no idea. It's the most poorly researched word ever. But this is what I heard, is that he left Scientology, and someone in Scientology said, well, yeah, we'll fix that fucker. And they put out some crazy rumor that homeboy had a gerbil up his ass.
I believe that. Have you been following the whole HBO show and all this?
The Going Clear?
Yeah.
Well, there's only the one documentary, right? Or is it a series?
But now they're making a documentary about that guy that made the movie. Scientology is.
They're also making a documentary about Louis Theroux. Louis Theroux, the documentarian from England.
I love him.
He's doing a special on Scientology. So Scientology decided to do a documentary on him.
That's fucked up.
Dude.
Unless it was really good and you're like, geez, thanks a lot, Scientology. Maybe you guys are pretty cool. That's a cool documentary.
I don't think it's going to be.
It's just really well done and everything's great.
Yeah, it's all about roses. And I think it's a hit piece. You know, I think that's what they're doing. They're trying to intimidate people from paying attention to them.
You know what I just watched this morning? I woke up on Netflix and I was watching a documentary called Tricked about the how like guys pimp girls, how they get girls, like young girls, and pimp them out, and the stuff they say and convinces them, and the girls giving their account of what, you know, like what the guy said to them and how they were like, you know, hey, I got invited to a party, and then there was no one at the party, and he goes, well, let's go have some dinner, and then, like, you know, 2 hours later it was like, suck this guy's dick in a car. It's the same. When you hear these, like, adults who are out of Scientology talking about, and one guy was actually laughing a lot in the documentary, saying, like, I know it sounds so stupid telling it to you, that they were like, you know, if you don't sit in this room for the next 3 months, you know, you're all going to hell, and your inner aliens are going to fuck you up or something.
Thetans? What are they called? Thetans? They came out of a volcano.
But you just get, like, I don't know how someone could talk you into that stupid shit. Like, I really don't. The pimp mentality, I guess I'm not that convincing of a speaker to even think that I could do some shit like that.
I think you're not a loser. And I think there's a lot of people out there. I'm not saying that everyone who's a prostitute or a Scientologist is a loser. It's just, but let's be honest.
Losers.
The percentage is not so much in your favor. But the point being, it's like, if you're down and out, and everybody's been down and out, there's certain people that get a different level of down and out than you've ever been, or I, or you. That's the reality of it. It's not necessarily that it's their fault. It's just there's levels of down and out. And some people, your life is shit from the moment you're born. You're born into a terrible environment. Your parents are fucked up. Your family life is fucked up. There's all sorts of abuse. There's sexual abuse. There's violence. There's chaos. There's crime. There's starvation. You never know where your food's coming from. And then all of a sudden some dude comes along and he's giving you love. And that is reality. And it's not pretty. And people don't like it. But there's levels. There's levels of fucked up.
You're talking about
and
Scientology
some people,
right now.
I'm talking about all of it. Scientology and prostitution and Moonies and, you know, the fill in the blank, Mormon, whatever the fuck
that's
you
how
wanna
anything
join.
extreme recruits. Even like, you know, if you get away from just religion, like white supremacists like recruit that way. They find the downtrodden. I mean, those documentaries on HBO used to be my favorite.
Pimps Up, Hose Down?
No, but I mean, even like the Skinheads USA. Did you ever see that one? That's the one where the guy, like, you know, their leader, he's like, and, you know, I leave him alone here. I trust him during the day when I go work at the tire shop. You know what I mean? Like he works in like a used tire farm or something.
Did you see what happened yesterday in Texas?
No.
They had a Draw Muhammad contest. Or a Draw Muhammad art exhibit. So some guys came and started shooting at them, and they killed these two guys that were shooting at this Draw Muhammad exhibit. Wow. Yeah, shooting at people in Texas is like, I mean, seriously, that's like jumping in the water and trying to bite a shark.
Yeah.
It might be one of the dumbest fucking things you
Everyone
could do.
around you, yeah.
Everyone in Texas is armed to the tits. You can't just be shooting people in Texas, especially at a Draw Muhammad exhibit.
They should just have Draw Muhammad exhibits and then just have like guys with, you know, police surround it and just wait for somebody to come. That's like a honeypot, you know, that's like a trap.
That is a good way to shoot like really radical extremists.
Yeah.
But the idea that they think that they can shoot you, because I see this argued on Twitter all the fucking time. They should have been provoking them. If all they have to do to provoke you is draw a picture of a guy, what the fuck? Like, how could anybody be on their side? How could anybody ever form that argument? By saying, oh, maybe they shouldn't be provoking him. They knew what they were doing. They're doing that to incite violence. No, they're drawing. That's it. That's all it is.
There's something designed to piss off there. I just don't think you don't.
To get to the point where they want to kill you, there's nothing. Your mother could be sucking a gorilla's dick. It's not good enough. You know, your mother should be jerking off King Kong while Godzilla fucks her mouth. Well, no,
but I'm
it's
saying
not enough. You can draw that. No one's going to want to kill you.
But I believe in the thing. It's like, yeah, draw Muhammad. Who cares? But I think you just shouldn't be we've already been over the shock that people will murder for this. So it's kind of like when that happens, it's not you know, it doesn't blow you away as much. I mean, if you hear about cops, you know, being in things where they killed a black kid, are you blown away anymore? Like we're desensitized to that story almost at this point.
Yeah, well, I guess we are to a certain extent. You know, there's definitely, we're not as surprised. It's still outrageous to people, but we're not as surprised. You know, it's just the idea that it's somehow or another excusable in any way, shape, or form, and that you would think about that. You would think about, yeah, what they did is definitely ridiculous. If you don't want violence, it's definitely ridiculous. But if that's all it takes to incite violence, how the fuck do you end that cycle? You're just going to keep perpetuating that to the end of time? Is it perfect? It never needs any evolution? You're telling me the idea at all that somehow or another it's offensive to draw someone is so fucking ridiculous in 2015 that anybody that defends it in any way, shape, or form, even like peripherally, you're way off.
If you talk to David Tell, he'll tell you that the whole world's like more nervous than ever. You know what I mean? Like people are more offended than ever.
Oh, they are. They are more offended than ever. It's a weird time for comedy. You know, there's a lot of shit that you're not supposed to make. Like people are actually saying, someone made a mild joke about Bruce Jenner. And people were saying, you know, hey man, it's not cool to make fun of him. Oh, it's not?
Oh, that Jamie Foxx thing was so like benign.
It was so benign. And then Bill Maher had one too, and everybody was upset at it. Listen, you know, whatever's wrong with him, whatever's wrong with Bruce Jenner, to say that you can't make fun of that, like, well, then everything funny is off base. You got a guy who is an Olympic gold medalist who's now become a woman. And he still wants to be a he, so he still wants you to refer to him as Bruce until he decides to change that. He's shooting his lips up. He's taking hormones. There's no humor in that? Really? Really? That's perfect?
And by the way,
that's beautiful and peaceful?
Technically, it's not too soon either, because he's been wearing panties since, like, fucking 85 or something, he said. So and
he's been taking hormones for like 2 years, right?
But he took hormones back like in the late 80s also.
He's
did? Done, yeah. In that interview, he says that this is the second time he's ever done that. So
so he took the hormones
like, and he had
him?
electrolysis take off all the hair on his face when he was way younger too.
It was
so he had no beard.
Painful.
So yeah. So he went through all this stuff like way younger. So yeah. So it's not even too like this is things that I mean people have been making jokes about him without confirmation from him for years, even on that Kardashian show.
Well,
I mean, making the same exact joke. People are actually getting like, look at this prophecy. When I don't just to throw a name out there, it was like like Dave Chappelle made a joke 3 years ago about this. Like, yeah, he's looked like a woman for the past fucking 10 years.
Yeah, someone made a joke about it. There was a joke on Saturday Night Live or something in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, about like it was a woman from behind and it's Bruce Jenner, or the opposite, thinking it was Bruce Jenner and it's a woman. One of those.
You didn't watch the interview at all?
I watched very little of it.
There were some really great parts to it.
I can't remember it now.
Did you tear up?
Oh, this is the point.
No, I didn't tear up. I thought the whole thing was ridiculous and hilarious.
You're not supposed to make fun of it, right? Because you're supposed to be open-minded and you're supposed to be supportive and kind to someone who's obviously transitioning through a very, very rough and difficult thing. That's all well and good, and I'm with that. I get that. But if you're not homophobic or transphobic or any of that, and you really don't have any problem with anybody doing anything that they want to, do whatever you want to. I'll totally accept it. I have zero problem with it at all. But to tell me it's not funny, like, please get the fuck out of here. You got a guy who's becoming a woman. Like, there's a guy who's 6'6" who's playing college women's basketball. He's 50. Okay? He was a man most of his life, had children, just decided at one point in time that he wanted to be a woman, and then found out that because he's now a new sex, he can re-enter college sports. So he played college basketball as a fucking man back in the day, and now he's playing college basketball as a girl. But he's 50, and he's a giant.
Full sex change?
Full sex change. So he's moving around with, and then there's people that are freaking out about it, and there's people that are saying you shouldn't make fun of it, and you should just let it be. Like, look. To say this is not controversial is crazy. You're a crazy person to say there's not some controversy in a 6'6", 50-year-old man playing college sports with girls. I mean, what? Okay, now he's a woman, so we have to call him a woman now. Okay, but can we just concede that he was a man for 40 fucking years and has a man's frame and is enormous? Like, can't we concede that being 50 is probably a little old to be playing basketball against teenagers?
No, because you got to protect people's feelings who write letters and shit.
Yeah, I mean, look at the size of him.
The whole thing is like
her.
You also,
excuse me, she's a girl.
Even with the Bruce Jenner thing, what I find so interesting is that I feel like by what people would say, I'd be judged in my life as like transphobic, whatever that word means. Yet I have no problem. I think you should be able to do whatever you want to do. If you want to cut your dick off to get a pussy made by a doctor, get your dick cut off. But I don't think I should be judged because I think that's bonkers. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to do it, do it. I don't care. I'm not afraid of it. I wouldn't not shake somebody's hand because they were transgender and any of that. I don't care. But it's like, I still think it's like a fucking. I think it's a decision that you probably should have been talked out of by somebody.
Well, maybe and maybe not. See,
I'm not talking about even dressing like a woman or being gay or feeling this thing, but I've made an argument many times, and I've gotten many arguments about this because people just like jump the gun on the words. But with gay, I'm my friend, with me is gay. Here, I have tons of gay friends. I have no weirdness with gay people at all, but I think it's like it's like something that went kind of wrong, almost like, to the extent of like webbed fingers or something. But there shouldn't be anything wrong with it, and people should be able to do whatever they want to do. Who gives a shit? You know what I'm saying at all? But if you're going to start marring your body to do something where it's like, even when it's done, like no one's really happy from the stuff I've read and watched at least with like their new pussy.
I don't know. You could say that. You have to check
I said,
a lot of dudes.
You're absolutely right.
A lot of gals. How do you feel about your new pussy?
I said the stuff that I've seen and read.
But two things. One, the idea that they're all the same. Like there's levels of everything, and there's certain people that want to be transgender and they still want to keep their dick, which is fine too.
Sure.
I think there's some people that have mental illness, and there's some people that really do feel like they were born in the wrong body. I agree with you. There's nothing. I mean, why would I? I think.
But don't you think it's like a misfire, though?
But this is what I think. It's very rare that you can cure something mental with surgery. It's very rare that, like, there's something that doesn't feel right to you, which I guess is a mental thing, or how you view yourself, and you can fix that with surgery. That gets real strange. Like, as far as, like, just accepting who you are and what you are and what nature is term. I would never want to be the person to tell someone what to do. Like you and I, we're both covered in tattoos. You know, what if someone came along and tell us we couldn't do that? I love tattoos. I think they look badass.
You can't use the Apple Watch now, Joe.
Yeah, I heard. I heard. But it's like, I don't give a fuck, man. Do whatever you want to do. I don't have any problem with it. But I don't know what I don't know what you're feeling. So for me to even comment on it in any way is kind of ridiculous for me to assume like I know what's going on, whether I know you're crazy or whether I know that you were actually really born a woman, or whether, you know, fill in the blank, a variety of reasons to decide you're in the wrong gender. You might get bored being a dude. You might have a bunch of women around you that you like more than you like men, and you wish you were one of them. I know a dude who for the longest time was telling my wife he's gay. No, he's not gay. He's not gay. He's not gay. Boom, he comes out. He's like 46. This poor bastard like wasted his whole fucking life pretending that he wasn't gay. I'm like, this dude is gay. I'm telling you he's gay. But he was always around these women. He would hang around them and talk with them and like be one of them. It's like there was the energy in the room. Like there's an energy in the room if there's a dude and like maybe his girlfriend and a bunch of their friends. There's an energy like, well, there's guys here and he's not going to talk like us. But this dude was in the mix. He was in the mix with them about everything. Have you seen the new bag? Like he would do that hand stuff that girls do. You know, he would move like them, man. And if you had gotten a hold of that dude and talked him into it, he probably would have become a woman.
Really?
I think he could have been, if you hypnotized him.
You could have made him become a woman.
but gay, man, see, that's a weird one. I think, first of all, definitely born that way. Definitely.
I agree.
But I don't necessarily think it's like I don't think it's a bad thing. They seem to be enjoying it. I think the only way it would be bad is if there wasn't enough people to reproduce. I think it's just a deviation. I think it's a deviation. Like some people are tall.
That's the exact
some
word
people
I do.
are short.
I think it's deviation.
But I don't think it's a negative. You know, it just doesn't seem to be negative. The only thing that would be negative is that they don't have a correct hole to fuck.
There's this transgender webcam room that on Chatterbait where you can look at transgenders doing webcam stuff.
And you just stumbled upon this.
And I was just, I was with my this girl that she's like, you got to check this out. And I'm like, I don't want to look at this. She's like, I want to see a good fake vagina. And there was this one guy that looked like on the top looked just like Tom Segura, like a normal guy, and on the bottom he had a really well done vagina, and it was deep. It was deep. She was jealous because he had like this humongous vibrator in him, and I didn't know.
Listen, you are haunting.
I didn't know it was deep though. Like
it's such a weird
throughout the world right now with that image. Tom Segura with a giant pussy, like a deep pussy, and a huge black rubber dong.
I thought like the fake vagina wasn't a deep thing. I thought it was just like kind of like outer. It's just split a dick open.
I always assume it was as deep as long as your dick was. Like they just turned your dick inside out. Like almost like it was a simple just pushing the dick head like all the way back in.
I think they do like real surgery now. If I remember, I think they can actually construct a tube in there.
Yeah, I'm sure it's advanced. But you know, I've interviewed.
He was creamy. He was creamy. Like, so what's that cream? Is that cum?
Well, it has to be like some lube that they're using.
No, well, no.
I mean, it has to. How much did you watch?
It's probably spit.
Do you know that movie Ex Machina? They weren't really robots, Brian. There's always I've seen some fake jizz before, for sure. I've seen some fake dongs in porn. There's this one guy, every porn he does, he keeps his pants on and his fake dong just comes through the hole.
Oh, but they make him like ridiculously huge.
You can see the strap. It was just like fake. I'm like, who wants to see this? This girl fucking this guy who's a liar. He's got a big rubber fake dick.
I interviewed twice now the transgender chick that dated Michael Phelps, was born like both sexes.
Oh,
she says, and then and became a woman. Well, she had a lot of surgery, but
that's not transgender then.
I don't.
That's like
she just did a porno.
Right.
She just did a porno, and she told me to look at the trailer. And I watched the trailer, and it's odd looking, but she has a girl's body. But
is this available online?
It's available. Yeah.
Can we see the vagina?
You can watch it right now.
Okay, pull it up, Jamie. As long as it doesn't get on the Ustream, we don't want to get Brad in trouble.
Yeah. It's called Going for the Gold.
But if she was let me ask you this, because it's so important. If she was born with both, let me ask you, if you were born with both, would you make a decision? I think in this day and age, you'd be better off being that one dude that can do it all. Yeah. I mean, good luck replacing you.
Why would
if you had a pussy and a dick?
Yeah, I mean, unless you're homophobic.
But they make that decision like I think crazy young. I think it's like a baby.
Like the parents make the decision.
Sometimes I feel like a nut, sometimes I don't.
You just put your dick away like a gas pump, just into your own pussy.
Yeah,
Extension cord.
parents would have way too much power to decide which direction a kid would go in that sense. You know,
Some people
like,
argue that same thing with circumcision.
well, you know,
have too much
people have been
decision.
circumcised and their dick got cut off, so they transitioned them to girls. Do you know that?
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah,
This
they
is good.
lost their dick in like
Intersex.
a surgery mistake. What am I
Wow,
going to see
her
here?
face looks
Am I going to
pretty
get to see it in
crazy.
this?
Huh?
This is they're going to show the box.
Oh,
here?
yeah.
Well, she looks a lot like a gal. Oh, so they have a swimmer come and meet her through the pool. Bam!
Oh,
How rude! Whoa! What's that? Her whole hand is just. Ew,
wait.
is that a gay? That's a man having sex with
Yeah.
her? What? He's eating it? Okay, so is that guy? What's going on
I
there?
don't know what's going on.
What is that? How do you? What is that exactly?
This
How
looks
do you-
like regular sex.
Yeah, this totally looks like a man having sex with a girl. That looks like a total vagina. Like if you didn't enjoy that vagina, you're just picky.
Oh wait, I thought this was a hermaphrodite.
Okay. Well, we just saw a
Former
guy jerk off on a former male.
A former male, female, former hermaphrodite, trans.
Well, you didn't see the
sexed.
box there.
They showed it.
I didn't see it.
Oh,
sure
there it
it
is.
Where's the
Sometimes.
close up?
There it is.
Get a close up.
Oh, it looks like that.
Yeah, it's
just like a box with balls.
It's you know.
There's a large stitches area above the box hole
lips-
area.
the lips are,
well, the far left
they're
is the most
bulky.
disturbing.
Yeah, it looks like there's balls inside the lips.
But again, like if you're trapped on a deserted island and you get mad at this, you're a picky fuck. Right?
if I was trapped in a hotel lobby for 2 hours, I'd give it a whirl.
I mean, we're all, you know, we're living in a weird world where there's going to come a time, I think, if not in our lives, in our grandchildren's lives, but for sure, where they're going to be able to change your sex. Like you're going to be able
Just
to be,
simply.
yeah, they're just going to give you some sort of a genetic alteration. You'll be a woman. I don't think that's going to be outside the realm of possibility within the next 150, 200 years. They're so close to fixing so many different things about people, and then once they fix everything, I mean, they're never going to fix everything. We're always going to have some diseases and colds and flus and shit, but I think they're going to be able to do some pretty incredible shit to your body, and then they're going to get to a point where people start going, you know what? There's a clinic in Thailand, and all you have to do is pay them $50,000, and you know you can become a woman. Like a real woman, and you can turn back if you don't like it. And they'll show clients that every 6 years they go back. You know, I was a man for 5 years, but I enjoyed a lot of lovely things that when I was a girl I appreciate more. And then you know, it's balanced my perspective being a man for 30 years, then a woman for 5, then a man again. I just kind of get it.
4 years I just took cock left and right.
Maybe not. Maybe just yoga.
If you just
Well, yoga pants,
Just live as a
yoga
girl.
class.
That's it. Just do girl shit.
Also, the other thing you're gonna have to deal with is like you see the perfect gal. You know, you see the perfect gal walking down the street, like just big ass and thin waist and big titties. And it's like Jesus Christ, your genes just call out, right? Like your DNA just goes, oh my God. Like if a group of guys were like this, and we were not rude, right? We're not rude people, but if we saw some gal and she was outside of ear range, like if she was walking down the street, you know, you would probably be like, dude, look at this, and you'd go, oh my God, nature's amazing.
Yeah.
Nature's amazing. Look at the pole. We're all like, this is like a sunset or a fantastic art exhibit. You know, you're watching like nature's art walk down the street in the shape of a beautiful girl. Well, what if you could just get that? What if you just, boing, you just go to a doctor and then your body straightens up and gets straighter. You know, if you're a big boxy type gal, your body slips down the waist, boink, your ass pops out, flunk, your tits pop, and then everybody looks hot as fuck.
Isn't that like sexual communism, though, to some degree?
yeah. Little bit.
Like you kind of want to keep it like.
That's a great term.
You really-
That should be a band.
Sexual communism.
That's a great band.
You really do want to keep, because don't you want to keep the elite? Because there is something. What I find interesting
How
about
dare you.
about looking at like chicks in that capacity, doll, is that like there's some that are just fucking undeniable. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I pointed out girls who I thought were beautiful. My buddy's like, you know, last night was like, that's an LA 6, and I'm like, I thought she was stunning.
How about Beyonce? If you don't think she's hot, you're gay. You have to be gay. If you don't look at Beyonce and go, Jesus Christ. Like, you know that, what's that fucking song? If you liked it, then you should have put a ring on.
Yeah. Yeah, she's very sexy for sure. Yeah.
Look at that
She's
fucking body, though.
But even
Good
there's
Lord.
there's a lot of girls that are undeniable. It's like they're attractive and pretty. But I'm talking about the undeniable, where everyone's like
Jennifer
that is
Lopez.
Like, yeah, in her prime, Jennifer Lopez,
Undeniable.
like, beautiful,
Just
gorgeous.
get the fuck out
Salma
of here.
Hayek in her prime was just fucking stunning. Yeah.
Undeniable. Undeniable. Kate Upton for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Undeniable.
That's it. Yeah, it's absolutely true. Like there's some people no one could even argue like, oh, their ass is too flat or it's too big or it's too,
Yeah, if you what's amazing is
even hot to me, like Nicki Minaj looks, some people think that's like ideal and some people are like it's retarded looking. It's ridiculous.
Well, the problem with that is, did she always look like that? And if she didn't always look like that, how's her ass that big? Am I looking at bags of water? Like what am I looking at?
I just saw her on SNL. I've seen her where her ass looks, big, fat, and like good in like the porn-esque, I guess, kind of way. When I saw it last time, she literally looks like a battle droid, just like some kind of just like tank, like bottoms. You know what I mean? Like it's like.
Isn't it weird in like the 90s we never thought that was hot? We were like, look at that girl's fucking fat ass.
Dude, I was just going to bring that up. Not that it was a fat ass, but it wasn't something that everybody aspired to.
Yeah.
Like I was driving down the street the other day and there was like some ad about building a better butt. Like they're having classes at this gym just to build better butts.
That's what I think. It's like and we're for real. It's like on the billboard. I saw that billboard out here.
And then you see all these girls squatting in the back and like, oh Jesus Christ! Like what happened? What happened? Like that's a major shift.
You know what it was? Black male culture kind of dictated the fashion and style and stuff for white dudes for a long time, kind of taking over the style of that, and now like finally like the black women are now kind of like setting like the tone for like the body shape.
I think it was the Depression. I think people were so poor and starving that they forgot that they liked big asses. And then it took like a while before they woke up and they got through the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. And then Sir Mix-a-Lot came along and he had that one song and everybody was like, yeah, wait a minute. Yeah. Like, why is it so great to me? And then you too? Yeah. What the fuck? How come we've been ignoring this? And it's almost like somewhere in there, there's like a resurgence. Now it's everyone. You talk to men, like what's the most important thing? What's the most attractive thing to a girl? Almost every guy says ass. Almost every guy.
It's the Cola Wars.
Cola Wars?
I'm a face guy.
Well, of course. I mean, face is important.
Face will do a lot for me.
Breasts.
Also, as a guy who couldn't be picky when I was younger as a fat dude, like face meant a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I can get a girl with a pretty face I could look at, and if she was big, like, maybe she'll say yes. Maybe she'll go back with me.
It really sucks, too, when you get close to a girl and then you notice, like the sunlight shines on her face and you're like, oh, shit, she's got whiskers, or, oh, she has no chin at all. She has, like, a weak chin.
A little picky.
No, I'm just saying that's how important face is, because, like, if it was tits or ass and the tits had this humongous brown mole on it, you'd be like,
do you know what's weird for me, too? If someone said, like tits or ass, like I'd over both of those, I'd rather see any girl's pussy. I don't know why that means the world to me.
You're a pervert. That's why.
I guess.
You like it meaty, right?
It's not even knowing that. Even if it was just like hair, like just the hair. I'd be.
You want to see the pubes? Just a little pube?
Sure.
Just the mound, the pubic bone, the hump.
When I remember being a teenager, what bummed me out when girls all started shaving their pussies bald was some girl told me, she goes, I go, let me see your pubes, and she goes, I shave my pussy bald. And I go, really? And then she pulled her like pants down to like the top of her,
classy,
we'll call it pussy slit, I guess. And
gosh, what a good kid.
It's amazing though how not exciting it was to see that part. If there was pussy hair there, you'd be like, oh, I'm not supposed to see that. But when there's nothing there, you know what I mean? It takes away like
I hear you.
And maybe because I'm 37, so when I was a kid, like all porn, everything was like pussy hair, and if you were, so maybe that's like what I'm just drawn to in that way. But I find it very like it really takes away. I mean, when a girl wears those bikinis where it just comes like right above where their pussy starts, like you don't feel like you're seeing anything that weird. But if you saw a girl laying down and some pubes were coming out the side of her bathing suit, that's actually, you feel like you're seeing more than if you saw all the top of her pussy. Like
right.
That Black Crowes album. What's that Black Crowes album?
America?
Yeah.
Or America?
That was gross.
Yeah. That's a great album cover. Pull that up, James.
That's from Hustler, I think.
Was it?
From a long time ago.
That's a great album cover. Black Crowes are the shit.
That big muff.
They were the shit, son.
Yeah, it's weird when I kind of forgot about pussy hair, and then when you see it, you're like, you kind of miss it. I missed it.
Well, it's weird because when we were kids, it was like kind of iconic. It was like that represented like they would call it, guys would call it a beaver, like it was just a little bit of pubes poking out.
Remember Samantha Fox? Remember Samantha Fox in the 80s? And then they found out that like over in England, she did a bunch of like naked pictures and like big bush.
She was a Page 6 girl. Like they used to have Page 6 of their like newspaper where they would show tits. That's why they were so much more advanced than us with their art. That's why the Beatles and shit came from there. They were so much more relaxed. They would show tits in the newspaper. Relax, it's just tits. Everybody's so freaked out.
And hair was more of like an eyelash for the vagina for periods and stuff, so it wouldn't get everywhere. And that's why girls are.
That's not what it is. The butthole hair was always disturbing, though.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Nobody ever liked the butthole hair because some gals just did not know what they were doing when it came to wiping. And back then, nobody had a bidet and nobody had baby wipes. It was toilet paper, and sometimes some of it stuck around.
So you get those little, it looks like joints for little G.I. Joe figures. They're all rolled up.
Joints for little G.I. Joe figures.
They're all super tightly rolled up.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh,
Did you know those
a little shit joint?
Did you know those little nose trimmers that you buy? You use that for your asshole also.
You can?
Yeah,
sure.
it's
I
super
would
easy.
shave it.
I was unaware of that.
Yeah.
Well, it's not rocket science. It's not like trying to figure out solar power. It's just
Nose hair trimmers on your ass.
It's just if it cuts hair, it cuts hair.
Yeah,
you know,
and
it just does.
And it doesn't like cut you and stuff.
Well, couldn't you get like one of those face shavers, those little nice ones?
Yeah.
Put down there with your
Oh,
asshole.
you're talking about shaving your asshole hair.
Yeah,
There's no
anyone's asshole.
hair.
Oh, I just leave my
Like
asshole
Puerto Rican
hair.
girls.
You know what though? You could do a way better job of cleaning it if your asshole is shaved. But your asshole will grow that hair back like a wild bush. And then in a couple of days, you'll be just squeezing your ass cheeks everywhere you go to keep from just digging in there and just itching, just clawing at your asshole like a wolf trying to bury a caribou. The stubble, ass stubble, and ball stubble.
Ball stubble's horrible.
Christ, how come my face stubble barely bothers me? My head stubble does. Like I got a lot of stubble up here right now. No, doesn't bother me at all. But Jesus Christ, my asshole is just like. You just start moving around in your chair.
It feels good when you wipe your ass and you grab like a bundle of hair on the way out.
You know what's the best, man? One wipe Charlies. You ever try those?
I want them so bad.
Oh, they're
yeah.
the best.
What is that?
It's like a dude wipe, like that kind of a thing, like
I use
a
those,
baby
though.
wipe. They made for men, but they don't smell like flowers. Like you just got ass fucked by a flower florist.
I don't even use toilet paper anymore.
Yeah, well, that Japanese thing is the shit, man. The
bidet?
Yeah, you're lucky.
Yeah.
Is it,
I'm gonna
though?
install one in here. Yeah, I'm gonna install one in here eventually.
I'm just gonna shit.
What, does it shoot like high pressure
like
water?
shit.
Come over and just shit, hang out for an hour.
Is it high pressure water?
High pressure water, warm air. It dries your asshole off. There's 2 different speeds to the water. It shoots in your asshole.
Totos.
Woo! It also cleans your vagina if you're a gal. It cleans your vag area. You can back your vag up, get a little tingly, and if you know you have a little time in you.
When we went to
If I
Japan,
was a gal.
when we went to Japan, I just sat there seriously for a half hour with the one shooting in my asshole because it just felt so good because it hit like the back wall of your butthole.
That's
Never
how
been there.
long I'd
so
have
good.
to
It's
do
warm,
it to
too.
feel like I was like getting. I still feel like I have to do paper afterwards.
No,
it's
you didn't
sandblast
walk
your
out
ass.
like worried.
It was so clean. I mean, it was like taking a shower for your butthole.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
it's-
meticulous.
You're not doing as good a job. I'm telling you. You're just smearing. Even if you're using baby wipes, you're just smearing
I use
shit
both.
over your hair. Okay, imagine if I took some shit and I just rubbed it in the top of your hair. You're like, I'm good. I got a baby wipe. Get the fuck out of here.
But if I had-
you would never accept that.
But if I had
you would get in the shower and you would clean your asshole hair.
Fair enough. But if you told me
There's no
if you
but
told me
there,
I
man.
had 70 baby wipes and a roll of toilet paper, I'd take a shot
Or
and get
a
it out.
shower.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. If
Oh,
I
no, if
found
there's a
out,
choice.
Hey,
Sure.
you've
That's
been
what these
dipping
toilets
this
do.
fork in shit all day. Dude, don't worry about it. I rubbed it with 70 baby wipes. I'd be like, that's not enough. You got to wash this fucking thing. You got to get it in the washing machine. It needs hot water and suds.
Yeah.
But again, let's say baby wipes and toilet paper. Just trying to get my method approved.
But still, you would pick shower before
Of
that.
course.
right?
Shower is
Well,
the best.
But I also in fairness, yeah. I mean, I don't like do anything. I don't go like out for the day though until I shower after I
Do
shit.
you stand up or to wipe or sit down?
Stand up is sitting not even a
Who
possibility.
the fuck wipes their ass sitting down? You must have really shitty cuffs.
I know.
What are your cuffs?
No,
of your-
I don't do it. He
no.
does.
I wanted you to do it so I can make
I stand up.
find a target.
No,
You
I
stand up?
I stand up. Yeah.
Jamie, do you
Yeah,
stand up or
everybody
sit down?
stands up.
No, there's people. Most people sit and
Oh,
they just
and they
go
read-
like,
I've
and
seen
that's
smell their
hilarious.
sleeves.
Yeah, I had to smell their watch.
Guaranteed to watch smells like shit.
One of my
Is that a Poopatron?
one of my buddies told me he goes from the front. He like reaches between his legs and does it while he's sitting
That's
down.
great. We'll smell his balls.
Oh yeah. How do you you do that?
Christ, you don't. He's an asshole.
You're not supposed to.
God damn.
It is a very specific protocol. Imagine what people smelled like when they hadn't figured out wiping, and then someone finally figured out how to just kind of clean the area off a little bit, and everybody's like, "Oh, yeah." Why would you just be covered with shit all the time?
When I used to do this poll on when it had redband.com, I did this poll and I did who stands up, who sits down, and it was like almost 50-50.
You don't have redband.com anymore?
Oh, I do. It's just forwards now. But yeah,
50,
it was 50-50. Like I know all these. It's like the dress, the stupid dress.
But
Like,
take into account, it's 50% of the people that were going to your website.
well, yeah, it was
You're
only like
deviants
100
and
people.
creeps
So it's a small.
And they're all
Sit and wipe is-
savages.
double
Sit and
test.
wipe is weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. You're not going to do a good job.
Ari sits and wipes, and you can
There you
see it
go.
in the Jew clam because he.
That's right.
It's documented.
Well, he should. If ever there was a like a billboard for stand up and wipe your ass, it's the guy who's sitting and wiping his ass. Something's wrong with his ass.
Well, especially that one. That video was so ridiculous. Ari had like a Homer Simpson's mouth asshole.
That was
He had
horrible. I
horrible-
rewatched it the other day. It's still on Lively, the uncensored version.
Yeah, it's still everyone watched it. Well, we had a whole episode of my podcast Legion of Skanks that I do, and he came and one of our buddies said that
No. I need to see this, Jamie.
one of our buddies said he had a hemorrhoid, and he showed everyone his asshole, and then Ari said that he would hold his asshole against Lewis's, and I mean Ari's asshole blew everyone up. I mean it was like uncommon. I told him I was worried about him.
How long ago
Something's
was this?
wrong. Months.
So it's still like that?
Oh yeah, no. It's
Oh yeah,
still
that's not
like
going
that.
away, man. That Ari's going to have flare-ups like that. The Jew clam's still alive. He never killed the Jew clam,
So, really?
and he still has the Skittle balls.
Like I swear to God, if someone's gonna butt fuck Ari, I feel like you could pull Ari's asshole up their dick like a sock.
Well, he's in Thailand right now. He's probably
Getting
got
his
some
asshole pulled
lady
up like a
boys.
What a
sock.
convenient place to test that
I know
theory.
the Brody Stevens special, please.
Oh my God, that's so ridiculous. Oh my God, why? What's wrong with that poor boy?
Because he put
Aggressive wiping, dry wiping, I guess.
Yeah.
Aggressive dry
It
wiping.
must. I mean, I couldn't picture what else would make that happen.
We're all ass doctors all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Duncan, I remember.
I minored in proctology.
I remember the night that happened. I sent Duncan Trussell a screenshot, and then he calls me back and goes, "Hey man, what the hell is that? That's a sock. He got. That's a pink sock." I didn't even know what a pink sock was, but that's what it looked like. It looked like he got turned out.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
not.
He's got a prolapse.
Prolapse.
It's not good. Oh God. Jesus Christ.
And
looking at it.
and his Skittle balls.
No.
I can't believe we were at the Comedy and Magic Club, and we're like, all right, show us your butthole. All right, now show us your balls. And his balls had all those little balls in it, those little tiny Skittles. Remember
Jesus.
No, that was at the Comedy and Magic Club?
that? Yeah, the green room.
You make
remember that at all.
Ari do stunts like a fucking autistic kid. Show us your butt now.
At the end of the Jew clam, it's like 6 months later, and you go, let's take a look back, or let's see what his butthole looks like now. And we're in the Comedy and Magic Club, and then Ari goes, all right, no, this is weird.
And he had Skittles attached to his balls?
No, like his balls were really like they looked like they had egg sacs in them or something, like tons of little
Something
balls.
was
in
wrong
it.
with them?
Yeah.
Like
It
marbles?
ends with you going, what the fuck's wrong with your balls?
I blocked that out like a child molestation.
I know.
That wasn't me. That
What
happened
is it
to.
about comics that we like to like show each other our cocks and show each other our assholes? I've seen, when it comes to like my friends' dicks, I've seen so many of my friends' dicks. Like Joey Diaz used to pull his dick out all the time. You know, and it would be hilarious. You know, Duncan's pulled his. Has Duncan pulled his dick out?
I've never
Maybe
seen
not
Duncan. Yeah,
Maybe
me and
not
Duncan have always.
It's because you
faked
want
it.
to. It's because you want to cross all the lines you
All the
can that you
taboos.
can
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
cross, like possibly.
Right.
Like you could. I mean, like I've had some weird ones.
Ari had his balls out for like almost an entire episode of Opie and Anthony once. We gave this gal, Stalker Patty, we gave her a fake breath strip. It was just a regular Listerine breath strip, and we told her that it was a psychedelic drug. And she took it. We told her she was tripping her balls off. And so she's there, and Ari pulls his sack out, and we pretend like we don't notice it. And she's like, "Oh my God, his balls are out! His balls are out!" Like, what are you talking about? So for this whole episode, we're pretending that Ari's and she is talking about how bad she's tripping, about how she can't believe. Like, it was complete power of suggestion and placebo placebo effect. Like she was tripping her balls off.
Did you ever show your dick and balls to anyone at the store early days?
I don't know. Bobby Lee's another one. I've seen Bobby Lee.
Bobby
I've
Lee's.
many pictures of Bobby tucked like a woman
Every day.
with his pants
Yeah,
down
I've seen,
in the bar area of the Comedy Store.
So I've only, you know, it's funny. I've only met Bobby like 4 or 5 times, and I've seen his dick and ass a couple times. I think.
Yeah,
Jamie always shows me his dick.
Jamie's just always got his hog out. I don't know if
Guys
I have.
with real big pieces will pull them out pretty quick too.
No,
It's
that's not
like,
true because I've never done it.
I was going by the fact that I've never done it.
I definitely can't say I haven't shown someone my dick. I haven't pulled it out for
Never.
whatever reason. I definitely have done it at least once. But it's not a mainstay. Like for Joey, for years, it was a mainstay. Joey would have his pants, because, you know, Joey doesn't really find belts that work. He doesn't find pants that fit. And so he's always in a state, always, where he can just shake and his pants will drop. And he'll go, and his balls and dick are just hanging out in front of everybody. Joey did that, I don't know how many times. I got a picture of him carrying a waitress on his shoulder, and his pants are down by his knees, and his balls are, and his dick is hanging out, and he's in the back parking lot area of the Comedy Store. And by the way, this is back when Joey had zero career. Joey gave no fucks even when he was starving, okay? Joey Diaz has been Joey Diaz since the jump. Like, he's always been a madman. Like, before he was killing it on the road and making great money, he didn't give a fuck even back then. Was barely getting by, trying to hustle, get gigs together. But he has always been like, that's like, he's the flag bearer for not giving a fuck on the West Coast. You say you don't give a fuck, but do you, Joey Diaz, not give a fuck? That was always the flag bearer. He was always the standard.
Isn't it weird that girls don't just show their pussies more often? Like, they don't just be like, yo, check out my pussy. Just like guys do. There's not a couple.
Because it's a male thing.
But let me tell you, but how far that's come is way different. Like how fast like average girls will pull their pussies out is pretty crazy.
Well, I think there's a lot of competition now, too, with all this Tinder and all these different Match.com and all these different dating sites and shit. People are just getting laid left and right. Like, you get left out in the cold if you try to hold back.
I mean, that fucking... What's that? They have the websites about like
Ashley Madison?
Yeah, actually,
yeah.
There's websites where it's like to
People to cheat,
to
yeah.
fuck. Yeah.
Can you imagine dating like a girl that her job was like a secretary to work for Ashley Madison? Like,
You never trust her ever.
Trust nobody. She would trust nobody. You couldn't trust her. No one would trust
Their
anybody.
jingles are great. Nobody's even on the radio.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I mean, what a great idea. Make a website that helps people cheat.
And what's so smart is in their commercials too, they have it be a girl getting caught by her husband using Ashley Madison.
Right, of course.
And then he goes, she's like, you know, I don't want to be celibate anymore. And he goes, yeah, I understand. He's like, she goes, you know, maybe you should try it too. Like, you know, like saying like we should both just, and it's like,
Swingers.
that's probably not how it goes.
Please, it's gun's gonna come out, shots fired, cops show up, no one wants to go in the house, domestic violence, always a scary things for police officers.
The only thing on the computer, AshleyMadison.com.
You fucking cunt! Fuck you! Bang, bang! They're shooting back and forth at each other. Ashley Madison, this is what we do. It's crazy, man. 500% spike from women on the day after Mother's Day.
Wow.
Whoa. Well, that's what they're saying. According to its data. Come on.
Yeah.
They have data. 442% increase in sign. That's what we expect. Come on, where's your fucking data? Bitch, get out of here.
It's Ashley Madison math. It's a whole different system.
This is a fluff piece. You know, this ain't no scientists are doing studies on whether Ashley Madison is going to experience an uptake in business. They're talking. They did that to make people pay attention to them.
I'm not on
Smart. What?
I've never done Tinder.
really?
You don't need to, you sexy bitch.
No.
Look at you.
Well, no,
Nose
but my girl,
slinging dick, telling jokes.
my girlfriend, she's on Thrinder where you try, but that doesn't work ever.
Well, you become friends?
Well, no. She's on Thrinder where you it's trying to find threesomes, like find girls
Get
for
the fuck outta
threesomes.
here.
Yeah, but I don't know. It hasn't worked yet. Maybe it's only been a couple weeks, I guess. But
You need cocaine for that.
Yeah.
That's the only way that works.
No,
You need
pulled it
cocaine.
off
Molly.
through
Yeah,
pure.
I'm sure you have a few times.
Yeah, you're right. It's
like
not. It's
man
not.
did
Yes.
start fires before they figured out lighters.
You're absolutely
But
right.
it wasn't so good sitting there with some fucking moss and a stick.
Yeah, you're
Shit
absolutely.
takes a
You're
long
absolutely right. I guess Coke would help.
Coke helps for sure.
Yeah, that's
If you try to get her to pull strippers, they're already coked up. You don't have to worry about it.
Look at you. You're thinking ahead. I love it. I love it.
just go to the strip clubs. I mean,
But don't you feel
We
like
only went to a strip club once. It was her first time, and she did pull a stripper. She was great.
see?
some guys feel, at least, that are comics, that like, the lifestyle is so ridiculous. You're in a nightclub every fucking night. You're drinking all the time. You're smoking pot. If anybody's got mushrooms, you're gonna do those too. You're eating at 3 o'clock in the morning. You're getting up whenever the fuck you want to. You're hanging out with hilarious, ridiculous people that want to get high and go to the movies at 1 in the afternoon. You're like, fuck it, let's do it. And you're laughing all the time. You're going on the road, hanging out and going from airport to rental car to hotel. All these cracking jokes. Like, there's very few people that can relate to that kind of debauchery. Most people are so tied down to some crazy 9-to-5 corporate life, job life, business life, where you've got to fucking pretend to be somebody for 8 hours a day. You can't be loose. You can't be free. And everybody's trying to conform to that in their after-work life, too. Everybody's like this weird fucking father knows best type clone figure of what an adult and a family is, and comics were out there living this weird, chaotic life.
But I've actually very young had to really balance both those worlds, and I did. You know, it was not the right thing to do, I guess, in many ways, and it was done poorly. But when I got right to the point in comedy, it was about like 23. I've been doing it for like 3-4 years. And I was in the world where now I was like going on the road and like if I was opening for a Tell or Patrice and getting pussy and stuff like that and kind of living that lifestyle. Like I also was, you know, married with a baby daughter. You know what I mean? Like my daughter's 12 now and I'm 36. You know what I mean? So,
right.
So she's almost 13. So it's like it is weird. I did have to do both those worlds though. You know, I was picking her up from school every day and then, you know, 2 weeks later, you know, I'm in Rhode Island with my buddies, and there's, you know, some fat girls blowing everybody and shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Just like weird shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like it was very weird to straddle those worlds because you're also trying to instill morals and class into somebody while you're just like anything. And it was, I mean, I did just like sexual stuff, especially, man. Like so much stuff just for like girls I wasn't even attracted to or anything. I'm just like, well, she will blow me, and you know, I have an opener with me, and she'll suck his dick too, and whatever. You know, like. Insane behavior that most people, the average guy, even in the world of like, you know, sexual looseness that we're in kind of now with that stuff, with all social media, like not a ton of guys have had like threesomes with it's even one of their two buddies fucking a girl or two girls at once, let alone like some of the shit. Someone way better looking than me has not. I've done a lot more stuff.
Well, they don't have time, right? Most people are going from college. You get whatever sex you can get in college, and then you know you're working all the time trying to get your degree. Then you get a degree, you get a job. You get in the job, you're working overtime. You're always exhausted. Like, where's the time for threesomes? Where you fit in your coke time? You know, all that stuff. That's what I was going to say is like a lot of comics relate to strippers. Because strippers are also living this crazy sort of debauchery-filled life as well. You know, they're making way more money than the average girl. They're dancing on poles. They're partying with friends. They're totally irresponsible. And they're fun to hang around with because they don't judge you for being a fuck-up as much as, like, say, a gal who's a lawyer. You know, when you're a loser comic and you're dating a girl who's a lawyer,
my daughter's mother's a lawyer.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It is. It's pretty funny.
Well, it's hilarious. So she went to school. She did the whole thing. She did the hard work. She got her fucking law degree. She took the bar. I mean, fuck, man.
Yeah, like no shit. And I tried in years past to kind of like there'd be these flickers where I'd try to like bring her into the debauchery. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, we should do some of this weird shit together. And she would, but I felt like I was corrupting a square that kind of wanted to be a square. You know what I mean? Right. Not that she's a square. I don't want to present it like that. But it's just like, I felt like I was like, you wouldn't be involved in this kind of creepy shit if it wasn't for me.
Well,
I'm like, you know, this isn't where you want to be. You know, I got to...
There's nothing wrong with the term square. But I agree with you. There's nothing wrong with being a square, too, right?
No.
Like, if that's what you're into, like, there's a lot of people that just, like, they like going home, having tea, and reading a book. Like, that is a nice night for them. Like, why not?
If it brings you genuine joy,
yeah.
sure.
Why do you have to go to a rave? You know, why do you have to go on Thrinder and find some other lost soul to partake in this
That's
dance
a good way to
of
put
the
it.
flesh?
We're lost souls. Asian lost souls.
But we're all, I mean, we just do whatever the fuck you want to do. The more people will get over that, the more, I think that's one of the things that I really truly have hope for with this new generation of kids. All these people, I think, growing up, excuse me, growing up with the internet, I think they're just going to have a totally different acceptance of people being different. I just think that we grew up in a weird time, man. We grew up, I mean, I'm 10 years older than you, so I grew up mostly kind of in the early 80s. You know, I went to school in 81, was my first year of high school. So I think that we just grew up in a time where we were just guessing. Nobody kind of knew how many people were out there that were filled with the same amount of angst. You kind of guess by the movies that we all gravitated towards, or you guess by the songs that we all listened to. This fucking coffee with butter in it, dude. I might have to stop. I might have to go straight black.
Go back to Starbucks, bro.
I'm not going back to Starbucks. Caveman coffee all the way. But the butter, man, is not good pre-podcast for the phlegm production.
Oh, yeah.
So the point is, we didn't know, man. Everybody knows now. You know, like if you're like transgender is a perfect example. We're talking about like people that feel they were. If you were a fucking kid and you were growing up in 1984 and you were a woman trapped in a man's body, you had no fucking friends. You had no recourse. Good luck trying to find other people just like you. What are you going to join some club somewhere that harbors them, where they have to come out and admit that they're a part of this? No, but now you go online, you could find a whole community of people.
Sure, for anything.
For anything.
Even for like, but even like, you know, there's communities of fucking pedophiles that find each other, which is like, you know, horrible.
That is horrible, man, and that's a real issue. You know, that was one of those. What was that fucking piece? There was a big expose piece about this guy and his boyfriend who raised their son to be like a sex slave.
Oh,
and they were bringing his son to all these other grown men. I forget. Do you know what I'm talking about, Jamie? Have you seen this? You know, I don't even want to talk about it because it's so disturbing. But it was a crazy expose where they followed these guys for a while, and they suspected it. And apparently, they had kept this very close knit relationship with all these rich pedophiles all over the world, and they brought their son all around them, and he was a really young boy, and they were using him as this sex slave, and they had figured it out somehow or another. They figured out how to crack this group of tight-lipped people. Eventually someone, you know, an email slipped out or something, and they figured it out and eventually brought these guys to put this poor kid. I mean, what the fuck, man? These are the people that love you, your parents, and you're being paraded around with them like this is this perfect family. And meanwhile, you're bringing this kid around to all these pedophiles, and they're fucking him.
Sociopath or psychopath?
I think that's both, right? I mean, that's a sociopath in that you have no empathy, and a psychopath in that you're doing damage, right? Is that what is the difference between sociopath? I know I say that all the time.
Psychopath can feel emotion.
Yeah, I'll find out right now.
Psychopath does feel emotion.
Really?
It's like a fleshlight that can do chores.
That is a horribly fantastic way to put it. It's like a Roomba with a butthole.
Okay, here's the difference between a psychopath and a sociopath. Okay. Let's see this. Society has conspired with Hollywood, playing two seemingly sexy psychological terms into our collective consciousness, psychopath and sociopath. Psychopath and sociopath are pop psychology terms for what psychiatry calls an antisocial personality disorder. Today, these two terms are not really well defined in the psychology research literature. Nonetheless, there are some general differences between the two types of personality types, which we'll look in this article. Both types of personalities have pervasive patterns of disregard for the safety and rights of others. Deceit and manipulation are central features to both types of personalities, and contrary to popular belief, a psychopath or sociopath is not necessarily violent. Okay. So psychopath and sociopath, they share a diagnosis. There's antisocial personality as someone who has 3 or more of the following traits: regularly breaks or flaunts the law, Big J Oakerson, constantly lies and deceives others, Brian Redband, is impulsive and doesn't plan ahead, Joe Rogan, can be prone to fighting and aggressiveness, Joe Rogan, has a little regard for the safety of others, Brian Redband, irresponsible, can't meet financial obligations, doesn't feel remorse or guilt. That's none of us. We definitely feel guilt.
Yeah.
So, Brian, you're most likely to be a psychopath.
Me?
Yeah.
I probably am.
Most likely.
1% of the general population. Sociopath, 4%. Both suffer from antisocial personality disorder. Both lack empathy. Both demonstrate complete disregard for the social rules and behavior standards. That's Brian. Both fail to feel any remorse or guilt. That's not you at all. Both are violent. That's not you at all. So that's weird. What's the difference? Okay, whatever. See, this is where I zone out.
Pop psychology is a great word, too, because when it does get into the, you know, when it becomes part of the collective consciousness, as it says, like people just scapegoat those things so much. How many people have you met in your life that just call themselves bipolar?
Look at this key difference. Psychopaths are as likely to be educated and have a good career. Sociopath is likely to be uneducated and unable to keep a steady job. That's fucking interesting. That is really
I've dated
interesting.
a lot of these.
And psychopaths have controlled behavior where sociopaths have erratic behavior. Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. That's fucking weird, man. But either way, fucked up. Both highly manipulative, impulsive, spontaneous. Sociopath more responsive, more spontaneous, and psychopath more manipulative. Fuck, man.
You could find yourself in a few of those, and then things that are definitely not you in all of them too. You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely things in there where, you know, when I'm feeling downtrodden, I'm like, oh my god, I'm like a highly manipulative person, and it'll make me upset at myself, but that just the next thing under there is like, it's because I have personal you know, like I don't want to hurt people or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like when you break variables down like that to like 2 columns.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
4 or 5.
You find
like,
too much of yourself and none of yourself and all of it.
None of yourself. You're complex, man. I mean, you're a lot of different things, and you're a lot of different things from week to week. I mean, you're a different person one week, and then the next week, you know, things might be going way better in your life, and you just, I mean, you might interact with the exact same person, the exact same moment in a totally different way, which makes you like pretty much a different person in a lot of ways. That you change all the time. I think the real thing is empathy. People who lack empathy, that really scares us. People who will victimize other people, like ruin other people, want to kill other people, want to do harm to other people, stalk other people, that kind of shit. That freaks us out, and that's what we're really worried about. We're worried about someone who goes after someone, like someone who tries to harm them, especially physically. That scares the shit out of us. Like someone could just, like, you ever seen a video of this guy who's into just stabbing people in the ass?
No.
Yeah, he stabbed a bunch of people, and they got him on a security camera. This guy was in like a retail store, just walked up some dude, just stab, just shanks this guy in the ass like 5-6 times before he doesn't even know what's happening. It's a black dude doing it to a white guy too, which makes it extra spooky. But it's like the idea that you could just zig when you should have zagged, and then you run into some guy who has a buck knife and he's just shoving it in your ass in a department store, like. That's possible. Like you could run into that guy. That kind of stuff freaks us out.
There was in the East Village, maybe a year ago. And they've had video of it, which is pretty brutal. It's just a little old Asian guy walking home, like I think it wasn't even that late at night, maybe like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I could be wrong about that, but there's this video, and this black dude goes up behind him. It's a little old Asian guy, and he just starts beating him against a wall. He just beats him to death. In the middle of the street, out of nowhere, unprovoked. It comes up behind him and attacks him. The word was he was like, you know, all screwed up on drugs. The kid, like whacked out on something. But the police station is on my block in the East Village, so they brought him in there. So that we saw all the news vans and everything out there, and you know, me and my buddy went over and we just kind of watched the guy come out, and like. To be a part of something like that, like his face when they brought him out was like he definitely felt something. Do you know what I mean? Like he had like a kind of a scowl on his face, but it didn't seem like
remorse.
Just the face of a guy who just like was involved in just that violent of an action. Like there's a death, like a death happened, and it wasn't even like a. Just like the idea of you know, we all fear those things, and also I don't see myself doing. I don't see my. I know fight or flight, obviously, but hitting someone in the head with a hammer, like the thought of what that would just do, like the thing of like the actual physical action of that is mind-blowing. I couldn't possibly wrap my brain around
just how
being there.
Just like how some people are just so smart you could barely understand half the fucking shit they're saying. It's like when you talk to the particle physicists and they're talking about CERN and these experiments that they're doing, trying to locate the large, you know, using the Large Hadron Collider to try to locate the Higgs boson particle. Like, what the fuck, man? Are we really the same thing? Well, there's other dudes whose brains go off in a different direction in a way that you can't even you couldn't even recognize. And the thought patterns of someone who just walks into a Walmart with an axe and just starts taking people out. Like, those people exist. The guy who got on the tower in Austin, Texas that one day, the school in the university, like, I think it was back in the 60s or the 70s, he just started shooting people from the tower. Until they finally took him out. But fuck, man.
But did you know with Ted, what the hell was his name?
Ted Bundy?
No, not Ted Bundy. The Charles Whitman is who you're talking about.
The guy from the tower in Texas, yeah? Is that his name?
Apparently, when he was autopsied, he had a tumor on his temporal lobe. Took away all of it. So when it just got big enough, it took away all his inhibitions. He actually killed everything he saw on his way to that tower. He killed a dog. He killed his dog at home. He killed, I think, maybe his girl, but he killed a few people on the way. So it was just, he would actually been found not guilty today.
Whoa.
I heard arguments about saying, people say he would not be found not guilty today because that was actually like a physical problem that guy had. But you know, can you, am I saying the right word here, behaviorally teach someone to become a psychopath? Because, you know, we're in LA now too, which, you know, was always home of like the Crips, Bloods, gang wars. I mean, you just take these kids, they're willing to like shoot in the crowds indiscriminately and just kill people, and then, you know, and later that night play Madden.
Well, you can if you raise them in a totally fucked up way from the time they're born in the worst possible environment. People imitate whatever atmosphere they're in. If you're in an atmosphere that's filled with violence and horrific crime, and that becomes the norm, and you get your respect by committing more violent and more horrific crime so that everyone's afraid of you, and you become this bad motherfucker with a lollipop who just shoots people in the face, there's a lot of dudes like that because that's where they get that good feeling. They get their good feeling of accomplishment by being the biggest fucking psychopath around. That's just a total failure of the environment that person's being developed in. But that's also what they have to do in war, man. I mean, that's what war is all about.
Yeah, you know what?
War is all about turning people
true.
into psychopaths. Do you see that fucking thing I posted on Instagram today? Look at this thing. Pull up this image that I posted on Instagram. It's from World War I. Now, look at this. This picture is 20 years before King Kong. And the picture is a propaganda picture depicting the Germans as savages.
Oh, wow.
This was about Germany. See, he's got this club in his hand, and the club says culture, Kultur. That's, like, I guess how you say it in Germany, maybe? I don't know. But it's supposed to represent German culture. And this was, this predated King Kong by 20 fucking years. But it's a gorilla, like, with like a crown, like a German helmet with a spike on the top of it. And the gorilla's holding a woman, and her tits are out.
Her tits are out.
You're allowed to show tits back then. Even in an army propaganda film, you got to protect the tits. And this gorilla with this club, it says, destroy this mad brute. And then it says, enlist U.S. Army. And if you go to Joe Rogan on Instagram, you could see it. It's pretty crazy.
In the sand, it says America. That, I wonder if they kind of stole the idea for King Kong from that poster. I wonder if that was like a pretty well-known poster back in the day, and that maybe the writer got the idea from.
Could have. Kid could have grown up seeing that, you know, and then 20 years later made a movie like it. I mean, I think, but the idea of gorilla, you know, at the time, this is another really interesting point. At the time, mountain gorillas were not even known to be real. Like, mountain gorillas really only became known for sure in the early 1900s. So this is a relatively recent animal in a lot of ways. Like gorillas, like there's always been like talk of gorillas and different types of primates, and they've always known that chimpanzees existed and orangutans were very confusing to people in the early 1800s. But when they were documenting all the different animals, they didn't definitively document the mountain gorilla until the early 1900s. So you're looking at something, probably, I guess that's supposed to represent a mountain gorilla or some kind of gorilla. You're looking at something that was like a relatively recent idea to people, this picture of a gorilla. And it's also, you're looking at something,
people, yeah.
You're also looking at something that's only probably 50 years after the invention of photography. You know, so I mean, think about 50 years ago. You know, you're talking about like 1960 something, right? Think of that. Think of the 1960 something. We're still driving 1960s cars around. There's a lot. Those are classic cars. That was when the fucking photograph was invented for them. And here they are looking at this image of a gorilla carrying a woman. Like, whoa! Like the idea of a gorilla was pretty recent. Yeah. But that's Germany. Isn't that crazy? Like France and England were supposed to be civilization, and Germany, these were mad barbarians from like the Roman days. Like that's what the Germanic tribes, that's what we thought of as Germans in the 1900s. They connected them to barbarians.
Really?
Yes. Isn't that amazing?
So much so that when we went to war with them, they couldn't have been more sleek. Like, you know, like it was such like a. It was probably the, you know, they were so advanced in so many ways.
So much engineering,
weaponry, and all that shit. They were like pretty, you know.
But to this day, the automobile industry, their cars are some of the most advanced cars in the world. The Germans make Mercedes, they make BMW, and they make Porsche. I mean, we're done. Those are like the three, like if you had to pick like a top three most advanced, best engineered, high-end cars, those are the three. Like those are the top of the like Ferraris are badass, but everybody knows that fucking thing's gonna break. If you're
Gonna
one of those
crack
guys,
if you bump into someone.
yeah, you buy a fucking Ferrari, like bitch, you know you can't go to Vegas in that thing. You're gonna be halfway in the desert and something, bang, bang, bang.
Have you seen that car that goes on air? It's called like Blow or Leaf or something like that. It goes 100 miles on air, and it has a compressor in it that takes 4 hours to charge. You just plug it in,
No way.
or you can go to a gas station, and if they have like the compressor for your,
You can fill
it up in 4 minutes.
Dude, you got to be kidding
No,
me.
and what's crazy is it's already big in the UK. They're just now making a plant in Hawaii, and it only costs $10,000.
Whoa, that's a game changer.
Yeah.
Where's Ed Begley on that?
Yeah, Ed's probably the CEO.
It was on Shark Tank, and they
Can you blow in it if you have really strong lungs?
You're right.
Pump it up.
That should be like your workout every day. Is pumping your car
see,
up.
look
Like
at
an
it.
airplane
that little
raft. Oh, but I
thing.
mean, you're gonna that's. When I see
Yeah.
people in
Well,
smart cars
well, it's
in
like
New
a
York,
smart
it's
car.
terrifying.
Dude, that
Yeah.
doesn't even have two wheels in the front. That's a bike.
I don't know if that's like the same one I
That's
saw.
a bike with a. That's a bike with a helmet
the
on.
Urkel-mobile.
That's
Yeah.
what it is. The AirPod. The AirPod was on Shark Tank.
Oh yeah, I guess that's it.
Dude, let's see a video on this bitch.
Yeah.
That looks to me like a bike wearing a helmet. That's all it looks like. That does not look real, and it definitely doesn't look like something you'd be safe in. How does that pass all the crash standards and all that shit?
Well, that was one of the things. Like all the sharks didn't invest in it because they only have 3 prototypes of this, and it was just about to go into manufacturing, so they haven't done the actual test yet.
Why don't you just Google it, Jamie? Just Google AirPod video. Because we can't just go on their Facebook page and click on every link. You're going to get this dog shit. This is how we made the seat. I want to see.
Who gives a fuck about the seat? We'll stand if you could travel 100 miles from
a
air.
type of foam that's very light, so we can drive
Oh, there we
forever
go,
on
see?
air. Look at this fucking thing driving around. This is crazy. Dude, that gets no traction.
Oh god, that's so scary.
Imagine if you were on black ice in that piece of shit.
Can you imagine
I believe you
dating
could make
a
that
girl
same
that
thing
has
if you
one?
could pedal it. You could probably pedal something that size.
I know, right?
Probably pretty good.
Backup
you could probably
pedal.
a boost. The pedal be a boost.
It's a moped. It's a
Look how you get out though. That's so
That's
Jetsons.
sick.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh, and you control it using a joystick, like a video game.
Whoa, that
I
is
like
trippy.
that.
That's trip. But what if you want to text and drive? You can't even do that. You need 2 hands to control this bitch.
I want it in the middle, like Maverick. If I'm gonna control with a joystick.
That's probably a good idea to keep people from texting and driving. Make them control the car with 2
2-hand
sticks.
joysticks, yeah. One for turning, one for going straight and back.
But you can't look slick. Like if you're rolling in your 6'4" and you got your hand up like this, rolling in my 6'4", and all the hookers saying, "Let me ride." Right, that long arm holding on to the top of the steering wheel. Sup, boys? Sup? You know.
I don't. It doesn't even look like the windows go down that thing. It's just,
Look at the fucking window.
just blasting yourself with music.
Look at the front wheel. It's about as big as a Tic Tac.
Yeah,
A go-kart wheel.
It's a wagon. It's like a
Child's
wagon.
toy.
Wheelbarrow.
A big wheel.
Wheelbarrow
Yeah.
wagon.
Yeah. It's so small. I mean, look at this weird fucking engine, too. But hey, man,
It's a
if you're in a
step, it's
fucking
a step,
city,
right?
do you think it has heat? That's a good question, right? Does that have heat?
Oh yeah. Does it have anything?
How weird is this? Watching that thing fill up with air. What if someone comes along and just shoots a hole in your air tank and you fucking explode? Right?
It's oxygen, yeah, that's the thing.
It's just oxygen.
What's interesting though is that this is even possible. Can you imagine somebody like Porsche or somebody getting behind this kind of idea of we're not even using fuel, we're using air? That's fucking nuts.
Yeah. Well, there's a problem with that, and that how are you generating that air? Like, what are you doing to get that compressed air, and how much fossil fuels are involved in making that air compressed?
Yeah, who knows what that process might require, some shit like that.
I mean, maybe they can do it with solar. Maybe there's a way to power some sort of a generator with solar that pumps air. That seems possible. If that's true, boy, that would be like the greenest shit of all time. But it would also be real. Oh, wow, there's a back
two-seater.
seat.
Or is it two-seater?
No, it seems like she climbed in the back. Or is this a different one?
No, it was a 2-seat. That was just, they're two next to each other.
Oh, so there's more than one model.
Yeah. Do you ever watch that Shark Tank show?
No.
It's actually pretty decent. It's like I find find a lot of things in there that are like this company called Bagel Bites in New York. I'm now like addicted to them. They just send you all these different kinds of bagels, and they're just like little bagel balls with cream cheese in the middle of them. You put in your oven.
I support that show. 100. I support anybody who's encouraging people to come up with a good thing.
Yeah.
Diamond Dallas Page Yoga.
Fuck yeah, dude. Have you tried it?
Oh yeah,
it's really good.
It's pretty hard.
He's a bad motherfucker, Dallas Diamond Page.
Yeah, I interviewed. That's how he gave me a copy of it. I've been doing it on the road. Yeah, it's a good thing doing hotels on the road.
Dude, yoga
it's a hard workout.
Is hard to do.
I would have laughed at yoga 3 years ago, and
I'll show you a Hickson Gracie documentary called Choke, where it shows Hickson doing yoga, and you realize, like, oh, I think I have a weird idea about yoga because I think of all these chicks doing it. Yoga's hard, man, and it's really good for your body, and it's fantastic for your core. See, there's a lot of people that and I was guilty of this myself for sure. When you work out all sorts of different ways, but what you don't work out in is your body's ability to move as one unit and your flexibility and your body's like balance and sovereignty, like where your body, you could do whatever you want to do with your body, like stand on one foot and just stick your legs straight up in the air. There's a lot of people that can lift a fuckload of weight. There's a lot of people that can run upstairs and do laps on this fucking pool and back and forth, and they're just animals. But ask them to stand on one leg, grab their foot, and stick their foot straight up in the air and then balance. They literally can't do it. They can't balance their body like that. It's because they don't have full control of their body. And what yoga gives you is this weird control of your body. When you get really good at yoga, like Hickson did, you know, like he was one of the reasons why he was one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the world. It wasn't just that he knew every move there was. It wasn't just that his dad was Ilio Gracie. He was one of the greatest jiu-jitsu artists, one of the most important martial artists ever. It was also his physical abilities were superior. Because he was into all that yoga and all this body weight stuff, like he would do all these crazy exercises, man. He would do all these like balance beam things. It's pretty dope. There's a video of him on the beach in Santa Monica, and he's doing like these pistol squats on a balance beam, holding his foot up and sticks his foot right above his head. And he's a jiu-jitsu master. Pull that video up.
That's crazy.
Oh, it's crazy to see, because you think about what you can do with your body, and you think about like how much effort it would take to be able to do this, what this guy's doing right now.
I'll tell you, even Diamond Dallas Page in his 50s in the video, standing on one leg and holding his leg up in the air.
Oh yeah,
and the way they pull it out too, it's like you go up in the middle and you pull it out, and it's really impressive. I mean, I can't get even close to what he's doing.
Well, it's also what he's done is fix a lot of people's bodies.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
My back a lot. I had real annoying lower back problems for like about a year and a half, and it's made that much better.
I bet it would. I bet it would. Better, yeah. It'll strengthen your entire core. I'll show you a machine after we get out of here. I've got a thing in the back for lower backs. It's called a reverse hyper. It was made by this guy, Louis Simmons, who's this world-famous powerlifter guru from Columbus, Ohio, and from Westside Barbell. And Westside Barbell is his organization. He came up with this machine that it works like sort of like your legs are hanging, like you lean your upper body over like a table, and your legs are dangling from the waist down. They're dangling, and they hook up to these rollers like a leg curl machine, sort of. And with a straight leg, you lift your leg all the way up, and then you let it go down. And as it's going down, it pulls on your lower back. It's like an active decompression. So you lift it up, it strengthens. You lift it down, it decompresses. Lift it up, it strengthens. If you want to look at it, folks, it's called Reverse Hyper. You can get it online. I bought mine from a company called Rogue Fitness.
Reverse is all the CrossFit stuff.
They have all that cool shit. But I'm telling you, this Reverse Hyper has been amazing for my back. It's so good.
Have you ever done? My apartment in New York is just too small to store one, but I want to get an inversion table. So
I have one
bad.
back there. I have two back there. I have one that you do from the waist down. You like lean forward on it. I'll show you both of them after we get out.
I'm so curious to hang upside down like a bat.
I do it every day. I do it every day. Every day. I do it every day for 5 minutes. Every day. Every day. Every time I work out, every time I lift weights, especially if I lift anything heavy, like if I do squats or anything like that. Anytime
I'm you do it?
I do it right after I'm done. And I do it for as long as I can until I feel relaxed. I just want my back to open up, because everything.
You feel that happen? Do you actually feel it? Like does it make noise at all? Like you actually feel like...
without that noise. See, like that noise.
But that's what you're
like
hoping for. That's exactly what you're hoping for. Like
but
that's the magic cure.
But it's not. That's not really. That's not. Nothing's really happening there. That's like nitrogen being released.
Yeah.
It's not really fixing anything. It just sounds cool.
Yeah.
I love the sound. Like when I go to the chiropractor and I get cracked, I love the sound. But the reality is that's not what's fixing anything. What's fixing is the adjustment of the the spine, and what's fixing when you're doing that inversion table, it's the decompression of your muscles, like your muscles relaxing and stretching. So you got to be able to actually concentrate on relaxing your lower back, and most people can't. Most people, they tense up, so even when they lie hanging by their ankles, like it's one of the reasons why some doctors erroneously think it's not effective. They go, well, you're just going to support it with your back anyway. A little, but if you understand how your body works, you can relax that area.
Right.
And I feel a great difference between holding it tense and relaxing that there. I feel the stress on that lower back area, and it's lengthening the muscles. It's pulling them, it's stretching them in a way that's, it's very hard to stretch those muscles. It's very hard to stretch them that way.
Yeah.
Like your body's malleable, man. Like the reason why some people are super flexible, there's a little bit of genetics involved there, but a lot of it is just pushing, just hard work and pushing on the flexibility. Just every day making it move a little bit more, move a little bit more. Like when you see a dude with crazy holes in their ear, that's like you can do that shit to your body. You can stretch things out. You can put a plate in your lip. You can do that also. That
can lengthen your neck.
you can lengthen your neck with those wires that those crazy ladies put on. But you can also kind of stretch your body out that way too. There's soft tissue manipulation. There's only a certain amount you can get away with, but you can, if you push it hard enough, long enough, you're really dedicated, you can stretch a lot of shit. And one of the problems that people have with their lower backs especially is their hamstrings. Like if your hamstrings are really tense, that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on your lower back, and it also limits your mobility. It limits the way your body can move around, and that also puts pressure on your lower back. Do you stretch at all with your hamstrings?
I do. Yeah, I've taken a lot more to stretching. I did CrossFit for like 2 years, and I lost a bunch of weight doing it, which was great in that regard. But the damage on like speed powerlifting is not a good idea.
You fucked up your back?
That's what I think did it. Yeah. I mean, just like
you would be one of many.
Swinging kettlebells. Sometimes just like, and not even that. I don't even think kettlebells were much of the things. For some reason, I was kind of able to focus like my stance on kettlebells, because it was never that heavy. But things where they want you to do like like cleans or like snatch, and then they show you the form for 20 minutes, and then they go, now as fast as you can for 8 minutes, and the best guy's done this, and you don't want to be a loser like that guy, so be as good as this, try to do it fast. And
how many people drop those weights in their head?
Form is just sacrificed.
How many people do you see drop weights in their head?
I actually know all the injuries I saw, people missing box jumps. That's when people got hurt with the most. Their shins get busted up on those wooden boards.
Well, that's probably the easiest to fix. That's just a cut and a bruise. The real hard stuff to fix is the back stuff. When you start doing powerlifting in like large repetition movements,
and trying to do it fast,
clean and presses. Yeah, you lose. The most important thing with powerlifting, the most important thing is proper form. That's the most important thing by far, and you should never abandon that ever. And that's like one of the things that people criticize CrossFit for. Steve Maxwell, who's a good friend of mine, who's a fantastic trainer, probably one of the most knowledgeable people I've ever met when it comes to like fitness training. He's always on top of like the latest modalities, different techniques and stuff like that. He hates it. He thinks that you should exercise.
I can see that. I give it its due because like with minimal right now I diet much harder. And I do more yoga than I would say I do like heavy weight training. I try to do more stuff like that. You know what I mean, like cardio and stuff.
There's Hickson.
Yeah, that's insane.
Watch the video though; it's insane. Watch him work out on the beach because it's fucking ridiculous.
You say does pistol squats.
This is all different things that he's doing, but you got to see the gymnastics in Santa Monica. That's a totally different video.
He's just like Channing Tatum in Foxcatcher.
It's a little gay. This is from Choke. This is a different one. It's different footage. It's him on the balance bar in Santa Monica Beach. He's doing that kind of shit, but he's doing it while he's walking on a balance bar. It's nuts.
And also those kind of like applied like muscle skills or that's why that like American Ninja Warrior. That's such a cool show. This is.
What?
Or the original one. You don't think that's like you don't think any of that's neat? Like that stuff.
You
they
went
could
from
do?
Hicks and Gracie to American Ninja Warrior
Of
show.
course.
Such a cool show.
No, not but I'm saying just the idea that you could like the concept of hanging off the side of a building terrifies me because there's no chance I'll pull myself up.
Right.
If I catch a ledge by my fingertips, and the fact those guys can ascend on their fingertips is fucking bonkers. I mean,
Those free climbers are fucking spooky. What those guys are doing, like that dude we had on, Alex Honnold, the guy who goes up the side of mountains like backwards. That guy's insane.
Have you seen
insane.
Have you ever
the
done
Russian
parkour?
guys?
Parkour?
Yeah.
No, it's a good way to break your neck.
Did you ever see the Russian guys who go on the cranes and just do like chin-ups?
We played every one of those.
It makes my legs quiver watching the videos.
Yeah, my feet go numb. I
couldn't even imagine trying to do that.
Your whole body starts shaking just watching them.
I saw this video the other day of this guy that goes out on this ledge of this hotel, like super high up, and he just starts jumping from one like patio, like had that like this little part on it, just from one to another.
You talking about that new cell phone video?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's for the Samsung Galaxy. Is it Galaxy Note or Galaxy S6?
Is it Neil Brennan doing the jumps?
That was a commercial.
Neil Brennan's a fucking parkour master. Yeah, the guy, like, he straps the video camera, he straps the camera on him and then turns the video on and then jumps from, like, building to building. But it might be bullshit. It might be CGI'd. I'm not exactly sure because he's doing some fucking insane jumps. I'm not exactly sure if he's really doing those jumps.
Parkour fuck-ups
here it is
are
right
fantastic.
here.
Oh no, that's not.
You ever seen this? Look at this.
No, I've seen this. Yeah.
Look at this. This is an Edge camera video. Look at this fucking guy, man. I mean, it seems real.
This is the one I'm talking about right here.
Look at this. Takes a photo of their food. Guys jumping off of buildings and shit and taking photos of food.
But would you jump? You could definitely jump, 4 feet. If it were a run, you could definitely jump 4 feet without a doubt. You can do that
from 4 feet or
no,
4
I'm saying
feet
you can
in the
jump.
air?
You could jump a distance of 4 feet. For a fact, you could absolutely do that.
Right.
I wouldn't jump 4 feet from building to building. I mean, I mean, there's definitely an amount of money, I guess, that I would do that for. I suppose, but I mean, like, I would still
scary.
be. Yeah, I'd still be emotionally panicked, like going to do it, even though I know I can jump,
Yeah.
significantly further. I'm sure.
Like, I'm thinking
than
of 4 feet. How many feet wide do you think this table is? It's 3? What do you think this is? No, more, right?
No, I'd say that's more than 3. Yeah.
What is this? 4 feet wide? Yeah. See, I could definitely jump over that
With a run and everything like that, of course.
Even just standing
broad
there,
jump,
I could
yeah.
definitely jump over that. But if below was like 100 stories,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
my hands are sweating, dude. I just said that, and my hands started sweating.
Well, because
Not
as I
bullshit. Feel my hand.
say, I'd have to assume.
Feel the
Nice,
sweat?
it's true.
That's real.
I'd have
sweating.
to assume.
What is that, Brian?
This video will make you faint, and I gave it to
don't make
Jamie.
me faint.
No, but this is the one I'm talking about. Look how high that is, and he just starts jumping from one
wanna see that.
corner to one corner, and at the end he has to stop. Do you have that? Jamie?
But you could, have you ever in your? I guess probably if you're going really hard, but have you fallen off of a chin-up bar ever?
No.
But you still would not want to like take that. So
No.
you're confident in your pull-ups, and you wouldn't want to do it
Well,
over
if you
those
fell,
cranes.
you would just land on your feet.
Okay,
That's
here-
not that
sure.
far.
Here it is. Check this
Oh
out.
my God! No, he's not doing this.
there sound to this?
What is he doing? Oh my!
Okay, watch this. Oh, watch
Wow.
this. This is fucked up.
Oh my God! Oh my
And he has to
God!
stop at the end.
Oh my God, dude! Look, they're dripping. My hands are dripping. You
God.
should feel my hands. They're fucking soaking wet right now.
Yeah, it's real anxiety, and it's just for a guy you don't know or anything. Just the fact that
That guy's out of his mind. The fuck is he doing?
Look how far up it is.
How much would someone have to pay you, Brian, to do this?
Never. Nope. I would faint.
Yeah, there's no amount of money for.
No. I would suck dicks before doing
I don't
this.
think I have that much faith in my coordination.
Would you suck dicks before doing that?
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
How many dicks?
As many as they want,
But how many?
Yeah, I'm not doing that because
No.
you can't die sucking a dick.
No.
You would know halfway through the dick. This dick is spoiled.
Right.
The dick's going
I'm
bad.
sorry, sir. I can't suck this dick. Do you have an expiration date on this dick? Because I am not going to get trichinosis from your dick, sir.
You gotta look under his nuts for a stamp, a date stamp.
Stop getting fucking Gardia from your dick. I'm not dying.
I wonder if transgenders that have fake pussies, like if they feel like they can't get a period, that they're like, oh, only if I could get a period.
Oh, yeah,
like,
for sure.
There'll always be something else. Is what I'm saying. I don't think they're super thrilled with it. And also, there's that weird thing. It's because it does end up being made where the dick was, so it's also an oddly placed vagina usually. Also, it's kind of like high up.
It's where the dick hole.
Do you think
I've seen one in real life?
Do you think they put just like
person?
ketchup packets in there and they squeeze just to make it feel like, you know, like?
I think they probably pretend. Here's Hickson
As crazy
on the balance
as crazy as that
Look at
sounds,
this.
as crazy as that sounds, but they do that. But I mean, like. They like, you know, girls who want to become men wear a fucking fake dick all day.
Yeah, look at this.
There's a difference.
Yeah, that is true. There's a lot of girls who do that.
Maybe put it.
Where fits. So maybe why not put
exploding blood packs in the vagina.
Those things you'd think you want to be a vampire when you were a kid.
Look at this fucking balance this guy has. He just sat down on it. He's putting his foot down, and then watch. He's going to stand up. From
I think he's like working for it though too. He's not.
But watch this. But because he's standing up on one leg from his ass down.
That's also like a rounded pole. It looks like, yeah.
No, that's flat on top,
But
dude.
your balls, though.
No, watch how he does this though. This is insane.
That's crazy.
He stands up, and then once he gets all the way to the top, then he does a split. He grabs his foot. It's crazy. His fucking balance is amazing. And that was why one of the reasons why he was so good. Like he had a combination of everything. Look at that. Get the fuck out of here, man. That dude's doing a split. Look at this shit. Standing on a balance beam on what? Like that's like the ultimate control of your body right there. If you can do that, you could basically do anything. He's the greatest jiu-jitsu fighter of all time, too. Like widely recognized by almost everybody ever as being the greatest.
Hickson Gracie.
Yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence that it's also he can do ridiculous things with his body. That like I bet LeBron James can't do that. I bet Kobe Bryant can't do that. You know, I bet what he can do, that's a very unusual.
But I wouldn't bet GSP could probably do that, I think. Things
Maybe.
similar, too.
Close. Yeah, George is a pretty amazing athlete. He can
He's
do
done
some
that thing where he does
pretty
those
crazy
broad
shit.
jumps up on those little ledges, and, then, and, you know, in between them, and he goes up, and I mean, that's like...
Yeah. Well, he's very flexible, too. That's a big flexibility move. You have to be really flexible just to be able to hold your leg up there like that. You know, George is pretty flexible. Did you see the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight? Did you watch that?
Yeah.
What did you think?
We talked about it. It's just boring. I thought you
talked about it.
You said you liked it, yeah.
But I think that most people were disappointed, right?
I just was bored.
I called it very easily from the beginning. I can't
believe I asked you if we already talked about it.
I know it seems like that UFC MMA has really spoiled boxing for me because I mean it's not like Mike Tyson days. It wasn't exciting like that where you know it was.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be.
Yeah,
right.
But that was the best of their best. That's the best boxers right now. And if that's your best, why are we watching $100? That's twice as much as UFC.
I think the UFC 60 now or something like that.
Well, still
High def.
Yeah.
It's 1 million fights.
Yeah, also you get like tons of fights over the course of the night. You get free fights.
Yeah.
You get like.
But don't you think like everybody says, "Fuck this! I'll never watch boxing again." I think that's bullshit. I think they will.
I'll still watch it, but I'm not going to pay $100 ever.
But who's going to be a real
star?
Like who's going to tear through again like a Tyson? That's what you need. You need somebody with that kind of vicious like knockouts. You need to bring excitement back to it. One thing. There was excitement around this fight, but I never fully understood why. I really was like, I think I called that from the second they announced the fight. I go, Mayweather wins by decision.
What about Canelo Alvarez?
I'm not familiar with him.
He's a bad motherfucker. He's fighting next week. He's fighting this upcoming Saturday. They're going to show the rematch of the Floyd Mayweather fight on HBO, and then he's going to fight Saturday or Friday. I don't know.
I'd rather watch UFC from Australia, right?
Last good boxing match I watched was that Chris Algieri beating that the Russian
Provodnikov.
Yeah, that was a fun fight to watch.
Did you see Lucas Matisse versus Provodnikov?
No.
Provodnikov and Matisse go to a war for 12 rounds. It's fucking crazy. I mean, it is a crazy fight. That's like the kind of fight that everybody wanted from Pacquiao and Mayweather. Like, just show just a few minutes. Show highlights of the Matisse-Provodnikov fight. This fight was like some crazy rock'em sock'em robots, Rocky 5. Like, it was a movie fight.
In all of UFC and boxing, or MMA and boxing, for me, I'd say one of my top 5 fights of all time is boxing Diego Corrales versus what was his name? It was one of those 3 names, I believe.
I know who you're talking
Jonathan
about.
Taylor Thomas.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
It was right after Home Improvement. He got pissed at the world. He's gonna kick some ass.
JTT was getting wobbly towards the 7th.
I know what you're talking about, though.
I mean, they fought in a phone booth. They said, it was insane, and then, it was like back and forth knockouts, kind of like that Pat Barry Chick Congo thing.
Yeah, this is these 2 guys fighting. I mean, this is Provodnikov and Matisse. It was a crazy fight. Oof. They smashed heads right there. But this was like if you want to watch like a blood and guts fight, like everybody wanted the Mayweather fight to be, you got to watch this fight because it was fucking incredible.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, these guys just back and forth beat the fuck out of each other. Provodnikov takes a punch better than any living human that's ever walked the face of this fucking planet.
Oh, when he's done, he looks like an Asian dry cleaner lady.
Dude,
like an old. I mean, he really does. Like, he's all stretched out. His face is bizarre.
He looks like they pulled him out of like a woolly mammoth tusk in the middle of the fucking Himalayas or some shit. He's such a stud, though. Such like a fucking animal as a fighter. And they did took photos of his drug test after the fight, and his urine was black. I mean, black.
From blood.
Like Coke. Like Coca-Cola. That's what his piss looked like from this fight, because this fight was so crazy. I mean, it was just like one of the nuttiest fights I've ever seen in my life. And that was the kind of fight that Jose Luis Castillo, right? Wasn't that who it was? Yeah. Diego Corrales. Yeah.
Jose Luis Castillo. Yeah. That's it. And they went back and forth, just back and forth, nailing each other. It was so good.
God damn. Yeah, he had some great fucking fights.
And then Diego Corrales died, like not crazy long after that.
He died in a motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a wild dude. Those wild dudes just fucking. But
then they'll make the movie of his life, and he'll be like, "I was just starting my charity work."
I'm done. I'm done with this crazy fight game. I'm gonna preserve my family.
Stop cheating on my lady.
What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna help the little kids coming up, and then it'll be some kid drinking, laughing, and he turns a corner and smashes into him.
I know there's a lot of people that complain about the end of that guy's being dragged over the coals now. He's dead now, but the American Sniper guy,
Chris Kyle.
But it's like the same thing. It was like, I'm gonna go help this wacky guy out. And she's like, you shouldn't do it. He goes, hey, everyone deserves help. And then it's like, he never came home that day. I bet he was just like, they probably all, was like, fuck you, bitch.
Fucking cunt.
Well, now I have to leave, you fucking cunts. That's why I asked for breakfast to be done an hour ago when I got in the shower, you twat. I'll be back at 7, you fucking dumb whore. Change your attitude before I get back. Dead.
Oh, God. You never know, man. You're watching a movie about someone's life. Most of the shit they're saying, they just did not say.
Do you try to not leave town or hang up on it? I always say with I think any girlfriend I've ever had, or if it's like let me not leave town. Getting on a plane while we're in a fight, I've thrown that all away. I will absolutely get on a plane, and then while I'm on the plane, I'm like, if this plane goes down, it's gonna fucking ruin the rest of her life.
Wow.
Fuck her.
That's so crazy. So this Baltimore thing, what was the what did they do to this guy? Because there's
catalyst. You mean what was the?
He died in a police van, right?
They injured his.
They hurt his
neck,
back,
right?
Yeah.
Like his neck. He had like a spinal cord failure, right?
Yeah.
But I had read from a very non-credible source that he was already injured. It's not true. It's not true. So he died from an injury he sustained so all the stuff that everybody had said about it being all the
fake
rumors.
Facebook.
Those motherfuckers with their fake stories. They're so dangerous.
He had a broken heart.
The best part of that was hearing other guys that were in the van too, like the other criminals or alleged criminals that were in the van with them, giving their account of it was always great. Because it goes, why come him hurt himself?
Here's a weird one. NBC News.
Of course the cops did it. He can't hurts himself like that.
Yeah, that's not the guy you want to interview.
Yeah, himself.
NBCnews.com says disputed report, and then Freddie Gray hurt himself in police van, ? That is not journalism. You shouldn't be able to do that. You shouldn't be able to say disputed report and then the title, Freddie Gray hurt himself in police van, ? You're just getting off the hook. You haven't done the fucking work.
Right.
You're trying to get the story out. You're trying to get clicks before you've done the work. You don't know if that's a story, you fuck. You can't do that. Like, that's sneaky shit for NBCnews.com. That's really sneaky shit, because that's not a story. You know what that is? Disputed report on a news site. How about you do some fucking journalism? How about you follow up?
Make it an actual report?
Yeah, well, what you're doing is, if you say something like that, people like me just read the headline and start repeating it. I heard he hurt himself in the van.
Oh, of course.
I heard he tried to hurt himself in the van. The fucking guy hurt himself in the van, okay? And they're burning down the dry cleaners.
The best example of how easy that shit goes is what was it? Wasn't there a comic at one point that was like accused of something, and everyone just says like he did it? Who? With the guy? Oh, I can't remember.
Bill Cosby?
Yeah, no, it was a comic who lives out here, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. No, terrible examples.
Yeah, let's keep moving.
Okay, let's do another one.
Did you hear about this fucking kid in L.A.? Did you hear about the kid in L.A. that got shot by the cops? A 13-year-old kid, or a 19-year-old kid that got shot,
crying for his mom,
unarmed, crying for his mommy before he fucking died. Yeah, unarmed. The cops thought he had a gun, shot him through a fucking screen window. Like, they saw him, he's standing there. He's got a gun. Bang! They just shoot him. Wasn't doing anything. Wasn't a criminal at all. Total accidental death from some incompetent person that happened to be a police officer. And now this, Well,
idiots can become police officers. But that Duke lacrosse thing is a good example, because people still use that as an example of like a rapey situation. Like, hell, the Duke lacrosse team
didn't happen.
Didn't happen. And they're always kind of like, people still say that. Well,
people are terrified of fraternities actually doing something like that. So the Duke lacrosse case is just one of those. But like the UVA, the University of Virginia thing, that Rolling Stone printed this huge article about, never happened. They just did shit journalism. They failed at every level when it comes to journalism. And this is goddamn Rolling Stone. But because it's such a sensitive subject and people are really sensitive about calling out someone that may have actually been a victim, like being wrong, and and saying you weren't a victim, and it turns out they were. People are so terrified of that they actually skirt away from the real journalism, and that's what's happened.
Exactly. You don't want to get
in trouble,
because if they're right.
Yeah, but that thing that the Duke lacrosse case, that was one of Nancy Grace's pets. Those boys raped that girl. They took that girl and did terrible things. I mean, she never apologized to them. I mean, she was flat out accusing them of that on television. It's kind of the same thing. It's not journalism. The story's not done. You don't know. Unless you were there, you gotta fucking get all your ducks in a row. And even then, man, people lie. There's a lot of weird shit going on. Whenever there's a story, and then there's two different sides of that story, boy, this gets tricky. Trying to figure out who's telling the truth and who's not telling the truth, and what is what. And like, fuck, man.
Especially when it's just like two. It's like all the only witnesses were the groups that were there.
Yeah.
There's those behind closed doors accusations are fucking. That's so, man. Never want to be on those juries.
Yeah, no shit. And it's weird, the difference in like the stories that catch. There's stories that catch fire, and then everybody wants to walk in the street and protest. Like this kid in L.A., this is not catching fire. For whatever reason, you're barely hearing about this.
Baltimore's burning down.
Yeah, Baltimore is burning down, and the guy who was in police custody is an admitted criminal, right? Like, everybody's kind of admitting that this guy has done crimes before. And this is just simply a police brutality issue. But this kid who got shot in L.A. isn't even a criminal. He's just a kid. It was just a mistake. Like, that's terrifying to me. They're just willing to shoot that 12-year-old boy in Cleveland. The guy gets out of the car, a cop who was taken off of a different police squad because he was dangerous. Because they were like, you got to get the fuck out of here. They kicked him off, and another department hires this fucking guy. He gets out of a car. In 2 seconds, he's shooting at a 12-year-old with a gun. And not saying that being a cop isn't a fucking insanely difficult job. And not saying that, I've said many times, I don't think anybody can do it right. I think it's just way too much stress and way too much pressure. But my point is, how weird is it that some stories catch and some stories don't? Like some stories, they just They just slip right by. You hear about the guy getting shot by the cops and there's no protest and everything. It just becomes another story. It just becomes another statistic. And then Freddie Gray, boom. Or that kid in Ferguson, boom. Michael Brown, boom. It's just like catches. And then the fucking protest gets crazy and everybody just goes nuts over it.
I would say Cleveland's not that kind of town, but it is.
Well, how about the South Carolina one where the guy got shot? They didn't riot. That guy got shot in the back, man. That guy got shot in the back and there's a fucking video of it. But there's no crazy riots like there are in Baltimore.
It's just it's mob mentality, man. If you can get the mob to start like calming each other down, like it spreads that way. Do you know what I mean? Like let's take this to the streets, peaceful but if the controlling interest of people start going out there and just like kicking in cop car windows, that's the way it's going to go. I found that like I didn't think there was anything good about that. I thought that was terrifying. Watching people like, and again, if this was so much wrapped around like we're rioting because we're pissed off, we're not going to take it anymore. Like high five, you see people laughing, eating candy in the background while they're stomping on fucking cop cars and shit.
You
it's just
know
like
what?
it's such like a it really is terrifying. It's like third world.
I think the cops leave those cars there. I really do. I think they leave those cars there as like something to take their anger out on.
Honeypots.
Leave them a car. No, but you know what's? I mean, you
Like
give
Blanca
them,
and Street Fighter.
you give them a cop car to destroy, and they have those cars are insured.
It's a bonus level,
and it gives them something to destroy. And I really think that. I really think that that's probably a strategy in a lot of ways. Take a cop car, leave it in an area where you know that there's going to be some protests, and just let them fuck it up. You know, Baltimore mayor gave those who wished to destroy space to do that.
She got in trouble for saying that, but...
Okay, but what she said, which she was criticized because they thought that she was actually giving the green light to go ahead and riot. By a mayor not trying to calm people down, but instead by saying something like that, the interpretation was that what she did was she almost gave them like a license to go out and smash shit.
She's a black lady, yeah.
She's cute.
We gave those who wished to destroy space to do that as well.
She's black, right?
Yes. Why do you keep having to bring that up, man?
Because she has.
Dude, I don't see color.
I feel bad. She has to answer, like for so many things. Also, do you know what I mean?
Put
like,
that back. Let me read that again. Yeah, no, I hear you. Listen to this quote though. Because while trying to make sure that we are protected from the cars and other things that were going on, we gave those who wish to destroy space to do that as well. And we worked very hard to keep that balance and to put ourselves in the best position to de-escalate. That sounds to me that she's very pragmatic. See, no, when I read it in context, what that sounds to me like she's a pragmatic woman, and what she did was she made a calculation and decided that there's guys are going to destroy things, and maybe that was admitting that they left some cop cars there too. Smart move, right?
Take a loss for the greater good, maybe, you know.
But there's, I mean, the greater good. I mean, they burnt a lot of shit. They smashed a lot of things. A lot of cops got injured. Fuck being a cop, man. It's too hard.
This day and age, fuck that.
We need them though. That's what's crazy. You know,
I mean, really, and I said it's one of the things like, well, who's going to do it? I mean, it's a certain personality that's going to go do it.
Yeah,
and you know, actually, I mean, I guess there's multiple personalities that can do it, but a lot of times it ends up being the same guy. You know.
It can, you know, and obviously the abusive people are when it becomes a problem, but the really calm people, they're super valuable asset to the community. If you have a really good calm cop who actually can deal with shit, good luck finding one of those. Good luck being that guy too. It's a hard road, and you're not going to get nearly the respect that you feel like you deserve for putting your fucking life on the line on a daily basis, breaking up family disputes and stopping crime and break-ins and fucking carjackings and all kinds of crazy shit you have to deal with. Everybody's lying to you. I mean,
some of the worst things though is when a cop really does buddy up to you and starts like opening up his weird moral like world, like where his morals are to you. It always blows my mind. I've had him say things like, "Yeah, it sucks these fucking homeless around here. You know, we used to be able to just beat their ass, but now it's like they're watching us everywhere." And you're like, "Really?" Whoa. I've heard him say, one guy was bragging to me that he's never had. He was trying. I was smoking weed in his presence, and he was like, "Yeah, I wish I could smoke again, man. But you know, they just test us all the time." He goes, "But you could check my arrest records, man. I've never had never arrested anyone for weed, never arrested anyone for a DUI. And I was like, what? I'm like, no, man. Like, you have to arrest every DUI. Yeah, exactly. You're trying to make some correlation to me that
I saw a guy drunk on the road the other night, pretty sure drunk, thinking whether or not I should call him in. So I got beside him in the lane, backed up, and stayed behind him, and watched him weave in and out of the lane. I couldn't tell if he was drunk or he's tired, because he would keep it up for a while, and then he would drift, and then he'd come back in and keep it up, and then he was good. It was hard to tell, but it was just disturbing as fuck. It's like all these cars are flying around going 70 miles an hour, and this one guy is not fully in control.
I've had to call a few times just because every time I come home, it's that time. You know, the bars are closing, and so once in a while, you just have to do it because you see how bad it is. Like, all right, that's ridiculous.
I called in once. Coming down the 101. Some fucking guy was just taking 2-3 lanes at a time. Just go straight across and then back on, straight for a little bit of wiggle. Ooh, drift to the right, back on, straight. I mean, he was fucked up. And I knew that guy was going to crash, and I called the cops. I don't know what happened. Never saw it. I did watch a guy. I was going 70 miles an hour, and this guy fucking flew by me on the highway the other day. Just, and I was like, what the fuck? I mean, dude, it was a crowded highway, and dude had to be going $120 easy. Wow. Easy $120. And then right behind him, whoop, the fucking cops were racing him. The entire time, this asshole thought he was being Joe Slick and driving fast with a car behind him, and that car was a cop car. So they hit the lights and they're right behind him. Wow! Oh my God, he was driving so fast. Because I was watching this, I was like, this is not like an empty road on the way to Vegas. There's no one in front of you, and you're fucking listening to Radar Love. This is this is the 101 in Hollywood. You know, at 7:30 at night, very crowded road, and this guy was flying.
It's so like. The science is in on that shit. Do you know what I mean? Like those things, like those, they end bad a lot.
Yeah, they do.
Trying to weave
car chases. Car chases are fucking terrifying for cops too. Imagine if you're a cop and you plow into someone and kill him while you're trying to get some bad guy.
But that happens.
Of course it happens. You're fucking going 150 miles an hour, whatever the hell you're going around corners. And how good exactly is their driving? You know?
Did you ever see those videos of cops getting hit by cars while they're like checking IDs and stuff?
Oh yeah, that's awful.
I mean, where they stand for that is ridiculous almost.
Most of them don't do that anymore. They stand on the other side. They go on the other side. But there's a danger issue. You know, like when you're approaching cars, you got to see someone's hands. You got to make sure that they don't have any weapons on them. Every cop has to approach every car like this is the guy that might keep you from seeing your family again. That's just a crazy job, man. It's a crazy way to make a living.
It is a shame because they said those videos. That's why I said I've actually never had cops be very helpful to me or nice to me ever. It's very very rare. Yeah, it's very weird as a white.
Well, look at you. You look like a fucking monster.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
You look like a guy who's got a fucking torture basement in his,
Bring out the gimp.
Hey, what's under that carpet, Big J? Nothing. It's just carpet. It's just
14 Filipino boys were pulled from a trunk in this man's basement.
You look like the dude from Pulp Fiction, the gimp. Bring out the gimp, guys.
Bring out the gimp.
Yeah, you were one of the guys, right?
Yeah, a grown man with long hair is like, you don't follow the rules, do you? What else do you not follow the rules on, sir?
It's usually in a bun, which is I do play by the rules.
A bun? Put it in a bun. Well, that's the new rule. Did you get a man thing, the top, like a pony? A man pony?
And then I get on top of the girl pyramid.
Have you heard the newest trend for women is actually putting it in old lady hair bun and actually dyeing your hair gray? That like people are dyeing their hair gray.
I met a girl with dyeing her hair gray.
Surprised.
That's so stupid.
Nose rings.
So
looked weird.
And those high pants, those mom jean shorts.
Yeah, you know, there's always going to be something. People are always exhausted with the options that are available. And they're just like, look, I just need something new. I'm going gray. Fuck it. I'm going to fucking tattoo my face.
How about those guys on was that Lock Up Raw or something where they tattooed their eyes?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
They tattooed the whites of their eyes.
Black, yeah.
Look,
women are choosing to dye their hair gray for the granny hair. Yeah. Well, if you're fucking hot as shit, like those girls, you can do that.
It's silver. It's not even gray.
Who's going to get mad? Look how hot those girls are. That's ridiculous. They're so hot. Who gives a fuck if they have gray hair? You can shave your head. You know, like I always say, like when someone say, do you think a girl's attractive? There's a lot of girls that are undeniably attractive, but do they pass the shaved head, no shirt test? And if a girl passes the shaved head, no shirt test, that's a ridiculously hot girl, right? All these girls in this montage pass the shaved head, no shirt test.
I like this.
can't say I'm surprised. Can't say I'm surprised that granny hair's in. If they're hot, they're hot. Who gives a fuck? They have black eyelashes.
That's almost my point. It's not even granny hair
Oh.
if they're that hot.
Yeah, those girls
it doesn't take on that look.
those girls, it's like they want to like slow it down a little. They're too hot. You know, right?
Trying to put some roadblocks in the way.
Yeah, they're like, it's just too many dudes are hitting on me.
I'm gonna take out
it down
tooth.
a notch.
I'm gonna rip a tooth out. Tired of sucking all this dick.
Yeah, it's just enough already. I've got too many dicks coming my way.
Joe, did you see that episode of Workaholics that they talk about? That was so fucking good. I've never watched that show before. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I saw some of the clips online, but I didn't watch it. And how much of the show was dedicated to making fun of?
It was a lot about what happens is they eat peyote,
right?
And throughout the thing, they're quoting you, and like, and then there's some like silly quotes where they're like, "No, Joe Rogan says we gotta trip on acid and do jujitsu." I laughed my ass off. It's called Peyote It Forward. It's season 5, episode 12. I've watched it 4 times.
That's hilarious. It's a funny show, man.
Yeah.
I just haven't had a chance to watch it. I barely can keep up with Game of Thrones. I don't have time to do anything, man. I'm just too fucking busy these days.
We Seth Rogen all the time. We need a Joe Rogan it once in a while.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's an honor. That's an honor. That's really cool. When I saw it online, I was like, "Wow, this is crazy."
It's funny when you can go either way when you're referenced in a show. Like I was talking to Artie Lang like 2 weeks ago or something. And he told me that how he thought it was an honor, but he got referenced on Cleveland show one time. But the reference was I guess the mom was buying food one day at a time. He's like, nobody buys food one day at a time except for Artie Lang. And I'm like, it's kind of a weird way to have to.
It's a punchline.
Kind of calling you shitty, yeah.
Well, it's kind of saying you eat a lot, you fuck. Yeah. Fuck, what was I gonna say? Yeah, that show's a good show, man. It's a funny fucking show. It's really well written.
It was surprising because I never had watched it before. Now that in Broad City, have you ever watched that? It's like it's like
there's too many good things, man. I haven't seen Amy Schumer show either. I keep hearing really good things about Amy Schumer show. Have you seen it?
I've watched it. You know, the cool thing about Broad City, it's kind of like Sex in the City, but our generation, and they just smoke weed and like do gross shit. But it's
how is that like Sex in the City at all?
Because
Sex in the City is a girl show.
It's about 2 girls, and it's a follows
Sex in the City for pigs.
Hannibal Barris, he plays one of the a guy in it that's like a dentist, and I highly recommend it.
Damn, there's so many good shows now, man. This is a crazy. Silicon Valley's fucking great.
I missed a bunch of shows, and you can't go back.
There's too many now.
Because there's new ones coming out.
Yeah, if you're behind, if you like never watched all the Breaking Bads, you can't just start with Better Call Saul. You're fucked.
Yeah, I didn't watch Breaking Bad, so yeah, it's exactly. I just don't know. I just don't know.
I watched the first season, and it was really good, but I just got busy. It's just totally a matter of being busy.
I made it through Dexter, and that got really disappointing at the end.
I gave up on Dexter.
Yeah. I finished it, and it's disappointing.
Super disappointing.
When I finished, I've talked about this 100 times, but when John Lithgow killed that chick in the bathtub and gave her a shitty rear naked choke, he put her in like a lame rear naked choke. I'm like, bitch, you are not choking anybody with that. Fuck this show. And I literally I got rid of it.
You checked out Dexter for legitimacy of mixed martial arts moves?
You can't just fake. It's like if you were doing a documentary on Jimi Hendrix and you're playing a fake guitar and you didn't really know what you were doing, and I could tell you didn't know what you were doing, I'd go, fuck this documentary. You know, that's how I feel about John Lithgow and his shitty rear naked choke. Plus, when you choking somebody, they fight back. Like they're trying to stay alive. They're freaking the fuck out. They don't just stay in place so you could do it. They fight. They kick their legs. They fucking thrash around. They look like Elizabeth Berkley in that Coke scene in the pool where she was trying to bang Kyle MacLachlan. Remember? Yeah. She's flopping around.
Really
That's what it would look like if you're trying to choke somebody. They would start kicking. They realize their life is in danger. They don't just, oh my God, John Lithgow, the third rock from the sun, is going to kill me.
I love you and Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. He's not a killer. Stop! Too much. You know, I don't want to typecast the man, but get the fuck out of here.
You didn't like him in that at all, that show?
No.
Oh, wow. I really did like him in that.
Dude,
he was my favorite season.
Couldn't get past his shitty jiu-jitsu technique.
I can't believe that. I wish they would redo it, like or the Star Wars, you know, who shot first or something, just to fix that scene for you.
Nope. Nope. No. I mean, was he good other than that? The show was already going downhill.
The show got shitty right from there, pretty much.
What happened? It was so good at one point in time, but something happened and it just got really off the rails.
You know what?
Stupid.
Every year they kept exposing like an end of series secret, and then when they get another season, they'd have to incorporate that into the story. You know what I mean? So it was like, his sister was never supposed to find out he did that, and then it was like multiple seasons of her knowing he was a, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like they got over it very quick.
She's a cop. What?
When they killed his, I mean, spoiler alert. When they killed his wife, that's like when I think a lot of people was like, that
show should have ended right there.
Wife?
I mean, when John Lithgow
killed his wife. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, I didn't know that.
Oops.
Oh yeah, the ending of that. Oh,
yeah, there's a shitty rear naked choke. Look, piss poor jujitsu technique, sir. You're not even flexing. He's not even flexing.
I just wish I had a bathtub that I could do that in.
That would be
two-person kayak.
Jealous with bathtubs.
It'd be way easier to get a bathtub to do that in than to do that. If you do that, you have to kill somebody. Okay, that's not good.
Do you have a good bath? Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Yeah,
good bathtub.
Yeah, get a bathtub, son. This is America.
Step up your bathtub game. No one's ever said that. Yes, they have.
Notorious freestyle from the movie. Now, who played Biggie? And when did this come out?
The kid was good.
This says 2011?
Yeah.
Fuck, it's a 4-year-old movie?
Yeah.
It's been out for a long time.
Are we going to hear his freestyle? Oh, I want to hear this. The battle.
Time you stop running, or time your ass stop talking shit.
Whoa. Whoa, they're angry with each other. This is not even really happening.
This is how it starts.
This what y'all want to see? Huh?
Someone gets their neck broken and there's fires in the streets.
I have the video. This was recreated after this.
Come on, man. Y'all know who the king of fun is. Hey, DJ, play me something nice, man.
Hey, DJ on the streets, just hand me a microphone in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you a little story about the Preem. Preem had ball like Mr. Clean. Preem be fresh like Irish Spring. And round here I'm reigning and reigning king. Big Preem, coming from the borough of Brook. You sweet on the mic, so you might get into play a slow jam shack.
This is not Biggie for the listeners.
Yeah.
This is Biggie's friend who is talking shit to him.
It's a rap battle.
And so
That's supposed to be Little Kim.
she's pretty.
Yeah.
And now Biggie takes the mic. Let's hear what he has to say. I assume it will be better.
Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, where this rapper was originated. Your rhymes ain't shit, your flow's constipated. Many awaited. The heavy-set brother from Fulton Street. Drop a rhyme to a funky beat. Niggas wanna know how I live the Mac life. Making money, smoking mics like crack pipes. Making loot, knocking boots on the regular. Pass the microphone, I'm the perfect competitor. Shoes and all that, the clothes is all that. Come stepping to me, that's where you take your fall at. B.I.G. just like my murder, it's unheard of. I stay close to mine like Tina on Turner. Word to mother. I'm above ya, and I love ya, cause you a sweet bitch.
Even the guy who's pretending to be Biggie is awesome.
Yeah, it's just more comfortable to listen to. It's relaxing.
Yeah. Well, if you listen to like Biggie's real shit, like if you ever seen the video of him freestyling when he was 16 years old, that's what you got to see. So go to this. Kill that. Go to Biggie when he was 16 years old.
Right there.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, play this.
Competition rapper ever since 13. Used to steal clothes, I was considered a thief. Until I started hustling on Fulton Street. Make it loose, knocking boots on the regular. Pass the microphone, I'm the perfect competitor. Shoes and all that, the clothes is all that. Don't step into me, that's where you took your fall at. B.I.G. got no murder, that's unheard of. I stay close to mine, like Tina on Turner. Pick the slower, the punk mother, guns are undercover. First the lover, I'm above ya, and I love ya. Cause you're a sweet bitch, a crazy rap, you might make my dick itch. I'm so loose in the neutral, once you get used to B.I.G. is a born trooper like ice cream, I scoop ya. My music you wanna get loose to stay dip, and I'm not a booster. So what you got to say? It's exactly where it's born. It's going to something, I got it going on. I'm not conceited.
God damn. Keep going. Damn, that's 17. How good was he?
There's
At
something
17.
about freestyling though that it's not
It's like roast jokes.
Yeah, but how about the fact? First of all, it's not freestyle.
That's the point I'm making. The freestyles.
Rhymes. Those were written rhymes. He
But I
wrote
think all
that stuff
freestyles are.
A lot of them are, but it's like being able to flow like on the point and then have the right things to say. But that's just, you just got to appreciate what he just did. Like what he just did. A microphone, an old schooly microphone like Chris Rock in one of those posters, you know, like Lenny Bruce, those old schooly
Sure,
microphones. He's got one of those. He's standing on a fucking corner in front of a grocery store on the street, and there's people all around him, and there's an actual rap battle going on the corner. I mean, that's like one of the greatest videos.
Inside there's a Korean guy just loading buckshots into a...
Look at this, in Bed-Stuy. That's one of the greatest videos in the history of pop culture. You want to talk about a talented motherfucker in his environment, the environment where he developed and grew, and you see how good he is. And in his hand, he's got notes, dude. In his left hand, he's got his fucking lyrics, man, most likely. Look at that. I mean, whatever he's holding in his hand, I would assume that that's probably his notes.
Yeah. I never even noticed that in his hand before.
Is it cash? It could be cash, but it's weird shaped money. It's like Bolivian money or some shit.
Yen.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like cash, right? It looks like notes. It looks like he's got a notepad. Or maybe it might be like a towel, yeah. That's the one thing. He always was sweaty. He's a bad motherfucker, dude. I mean, it's just amazing to see how good his flow was at 17. He's my all-time. My all-time favorite rapper, that's right there. Him and Nas. Nas is like my all-time best lyricist. I think Nas was like the most complex and the most like I would listen to Nas lyrics and I go, God damn, this dude's brilliant. Just brilliant lyrics. But you know, a band that doesn't get enough, a group rather doesn't get enough credit, Gangstar.
Oh yeah,
Fuck,
Guru.
they were great, dude. Fuck, they were amazing. Gangstar was they had some fucking great
Step
jams.
in the arena.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Gangstar a lot growing up.
But
you know what's the worst ever? Nice and Smooth.
No, what's Nice and Smooth?
You don't remember Nice and Smooth, Hip Hop
No.
Junkies, where they used the Partridge Family song? Oh,
No.
you've heard that.
No, I haven't.
Absolutely. And they
Really?
were Nice and Smooth. Were
Blocked
also
it
the guy,
out.
if you like
Like Ari's butthole, I blocked it out.
if you like Gangstar, they had the song.
Okay, I might not actually know about this.
They did the song Dwick. Yeah, you know.
Well, I don't know. Go to it.
Sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick. You don't remember that song?
Oh, I do remember that. See, but that's kind of like, what year was
These
this?
guys are so not in the mix that they actually grew old. No one killed them or nothing. Look at them. Look how old they are. They're doing
Got
fantastic.
good 401ks.
Yeah.
What does that say? 91?
No diabetes.
See, 91, man, I was out of the loop. That was like when I was struggling hardcore as a comedian, dog. That was 3 years into my comedy career. I was doing nothing but doing stand-up. I didn't go to any clubs where I would ever hear this.
If you want to chuckle, play the first verse of Hip Hop Junkies. It's because you talk about lyrics. He said everything is non sequitur. It's not like a cool thing. He just says words that rhyme.
Let's hear it.
Nothing makes any sense.
91's when I lost my virginity.
Kill the audio for the YouTube video so it doesn't get us pulled off.
Oh,
but
these fucks.
The podcast audio should be able to hear.
Okay. Do you think Nice and Smooth they do DRM? Let's for us, let's hear this.
You guys hear it?
No, we don't hear anything. We don't hear anything. Here.
So let's give it up for.
Oh, is this in living color? Is that what this
Yeah.
is? Oh, wow, in living color.
Dun, dun, dun. I remember this.
Do you remember this?
Yeah. Dun,
Wow.
Dun, dun.
See, I went for a period of a few years where I'd watch very little TV. I didn't watch much pop culture stuff. I don't know this at all.
Orca was a great big whale. I knew a fat girl who broke the scale.
Man, check out the Fly Girls.
Hey, they were sagging. They were sagging even way back then.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. So this is 91?
Shawn Wayans was 20 years from doing an open mic.
How dare you? He's a nice fellow.
SW1.
Okay, you can stop this before we all
Die.
die of fucking shitty music overload.
Black guys in orange hats. Remember those days?
No, compare that to Biggie when he was 17. Play some more of that. Play this.
You
I bet if black people kept dressing like Heavy D or like A Different World, there wouldn't be people getting killed in the streets like that.
Dude, he looks like he was just playing golf.
He really is just like a little kid, black kid school picture.
All right, all right. No comparison. I do not like that other stuff.
No.
No, it's horrible. That's
Is that the
point.
worst ever?
I think it's probably one of the worst rappers ever.
I try to concentrate on the best. I try to see the best in things. Jay Oakerson.
The exception of like maybe like didn't like Dee Dee Ramone make a rap album or something like that?
Who's Dee Dee Ramone?
From the Ramones.
No way. Joey Ramone, Dee Dee Ramone?
Yeah, Dee Dee Ramone when he was on heroin made a rap video, I think.
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Why?
Because he was on heroin. He needed heroin money.
Didn't Chris Cornell from Soundgarden make some really bad pop album?
Did
Like
he?
really
I don't know
poppy,
about that.
Britney Spears-y type music? Didn't he?
I don't know.
What is this? What are you playing?
D.D. King's rap album?
No way. This is Dee Dee Ramone?
Yeah.
Let's see. You'll see.
Dee
him.
Dee
Yeah.
King is what he called himself?
Got to see him.
Oh, stop this right now. Stop this.
Oh yeah, it's him. It's Dee Dee Ramone.
Oh my God. Do you think this is like who's being silly? I mean, he got up and his place is a mess and his pizza on the floor. He's living that rock and roll lifestyle. Oh God, this is awful. Okay, stop it. Stop it. What was the other one that we just said? Oh, the Chris Cornell stuff. I remember that. It was like widely decided that wasn't good. But he was so fucking good in Soundgarden. It's hard to imagine he was bad in anything. You know, listen to Blow Up the Outside World and go, look, that guy gets a pass forever. If he can do that, you know, you can try all your fucking goofy Garth Brooks, Chris Gaines type projects.
Well, sometimes that works. I mean, you know, Sugar Ray was like a speed metal band.
What?
Sugar Ray? Yeah,
Really?
they have a song called Mean Machine. Is like their was their one like, you know, sort of radio hit, and then they were like, "You're good looking, man. Like, cut that hair and frost your tips and
Is that
go sing
Sugar
songs
Ray
for
Mark
girl."
McGrath?
Yeah,
How did that guy wind up an entertainment news reporter?
nice to look at.
He's beautiful to look at, but he was a really good musician. Like, how did?
But I think he probably wanted it. I bet he doesn't believe in. And if your heart's probably in the music you don't succeed with, if that happens to you. So he changed that style of music. I just want to fly. I don't think that's what he wanted to do. If you hear the original, they have like videos of like the original, the way the band was, and they changed completely. I heard Incubus did that too, though. I didn't know Incubus very much before the radio hits, but like my buddy tells me all the time that they were like a pretty like
They're big into psychedelics and
like psychedelic
heavy
metal band, yeah.
Incubus?
Yeah.
Yeah, before they did like, you know, Wish You Were Here and all that stuff. Like they
Family
were
Values tour with Korn and Deftones.
they were on
and
Ozfest
Yeah.
before.
And what made them change?
money.
You know, but the record executives come in and go, "You're really handsome," like clean, because he was like a dirtbag too, looking guy. Like, and then he's a pretty boy. Everyone knows him as a pretty boy in Incubus.
Wow, that's weird. Wow, that's great. That's the untold stories of the music business, the manipulation. Just like we were talking about movies, you know, it's got to be a lot of that in the music business as well. They just decide what's going to make it work.
The beauty in rap is, I love when they get angry at each other, they start explaining who had the better childhood. They started shitting. You know what I'm talking about? What, I can listen to this motherfucker. He went to private school. Like that's like, oh, they're always like mad at each other over that.
Full-on education.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah,
like, do you remember that was the big thing with I mean, eventually got super exposed, but Dr. Dre, like right before NWA, was wearing like, you know, a glittery thing, and like, you know, it was like whatever I forget what they were called. I just watched that Welcome to Death Row documentary the other day. That is,
I can't wait for the NWA.
man, Suge Knight is just, that's a scary dude, man.
What is this, Sugar Ray Mean Machine?
Sugar Ray, yeah, what their original thing was, yeah.
Let me hear this.
It's terrible.
That's gross.
Whoa. Yeah, but it looks weird too. It's not just. It just looks. It looks
Early
like
mid-90s.
these guys. Someone needs to take them out for a hard night somewhere, outside of like Orange County. Take them out of Laguna Beach and bring them to like a really. They need scars and tattoos and some life experience. You can't pose different guys in front of that old Cadillac. Just stop that. That does not make you slick. That's not your car, is it? Is it? It's not your fucking car.
For some reason, I believe like Maroon 5 was always Maroon 5, though. They've actually evolved with the times to go towards more popular music.
That does look like the Comedy Store, Jamie. Oh my God, it is the Comedy Store, isn't it?
No.
It's the stage.
That might be.
That's the main room stage,
That's
dude.
too small.
No. Just with the camera.
It's the angle of the camera, man.
Holy
Backlights.
shit! It is.
I mean, there's also a whole drum kit and
It's
everything.
very
there.
possible. We'll find out.
Oh no, it is. That totally is. 100%.
looks-
It's
it
got the
certainly
side
looks
side
like it.
stairs on each side.
I mean, if it's not, it's a very
See?
similar design.
No, it's the same dick lights on the side. Yeah, that's it. I just was fooled with the camera angle.
Wow, that's
so.
fucking crazy. That Comedy Store main room stage has seen a lot of shit. That's where Richard Pryor filmed Live at the Sunset Strip, right?
I thought so.
I'm pretty sure. Pull that Richard Pryor Live at the Sunset Strip. I'm almost positive it was filmed at the Comedy Store. One of them was
that
filmed
or
at the
Roxy.
Comedy Store, right? Was it?
It's either that or the Roxy.
Well, the Kinnison one, the HBO special, was filmed at the Roxy.
Roxy.
You know, for whatever reason, he's probably banned from the Comedy Store when it went down because he was always like in it. I mean, they fucking repaired the bullet hole in the back sign. I was like, why did you do that? Like, why would you do that? Why would
What's
you
that from?
fix that? From Kinnison. Kinnison shot a gun in the parking lot to scare Dice. He shot the fucking sign, and there was always a bullet hole in it. I was
Wow.
like, why would you fix that? And like, we didn't, thought it was a good idea to fix it. No! God damn it, how could you fix that? They're like, well, there's still the hole in the back of it. I'm like, not good enough.
Right.
Not good enough. You need to leave the whole hole, the whole thing. Where was it?
Hollywood Palladium.
There's only one
was it the
track
Palladium?
recorded at the Palladium. The rest of it was recorded in San Carlos, California.
What?
Yeah, that's what it
Oh,
says.
it's
Wait a minute. Live on the Sunset Strip? Was all done in a different place?
Except for one part of it.
That's crazy. So
And-
it
and a
wasn't on
year
the
later.
Sunset Strip.
And a year later.
What? How is that
Oh
possible?
wait, 2 months later. Never mind.
Wikipedia, though, so I mean, it could or
How is that possible?
I can get lost on looking at track listing names of comedy
I know,
albums. Are always
that's
but these aren't
great.
so bad. But sometimes they are just hilarious. You know, who did
Pull
one of
up
the funniest.
a video. Pull up a video of it.
You know, one of the
Wow.
funniest track listings that Nate Bargatze. He's a very funny comic. Nate Bargatze. He has a special actually. It was on a Comedy Central air this last week. But his album, the tracks are just called. It was like, all right, good start. And track 2 is like getting them. Like 2, it's like starting to lose them. It's always like it's how the crowd was reacting, which is fucking pretty hilarious.
That's a funny thing for.
He's like losing them now.
That's funny.
He goes up, got him back. Like track 7's
great.
like got him back.
Did you find it?
It is really weird how the East Coast comics and the West Coast comics rarely know each other.
Nate's
This
out
is
here.
crazy. So he probably wore the same suit everywhere and did it at a bunch of different locations, but decided not to use the ones on the Sunset Strip for most of the recording. That's crazy. And you can't really tell because he's in a dark stage. He made it just like a regular show. That's one thing that was really smart. Like, he didn't make the audience all lit up like they do in these new Comedy Central specials. Those motherfuckers are obsessed with lighting the room up. They want to light everybody up. Like, hey, fuckhead, that's not how it looks at a comedy show. And when you do that, the audience gets weird. Like, see, yeah, you could kind of tell that's not the store.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I did think it was. I haven't seen this in a while. This is probably one of the all-time greatest comedy documentary. I mean, not probably. One of the all-time greatest comedy specials ever. And just a documentary as well, kind of, because you're looking back into this time, into 1982, when Richard Pryor was on fire. I mean, just literally and physically, right?
This is after his freebasing. Shit,
Yeah. Well, he did really get burnt in a freebase accident. Said he did. Lit himself on fire. The reality is he threw some liquor on him and lit himself on fire. That's what actually happened.
In like a Steve O way, or like I'm gonna end it all right now.
End it
kind of
all
way?
right now. Just the down in the deepest, darkest hole after freebasing. That's why he admitted it later in life, that he had tried to kill himself, that he had lit himself on fire. And then look, just after that, here he is on stage killing, and everybody loved him.
Talk about balance.
loved him.
Talk about I mean, that's like,
Yeah.
to be normal and have like those cohesive thoughts and put those things together like that. And then, that at one point, a year or so before this, you're just in that kind of down in that rabbit hole.
Look it back up a little bit, Jamie. Back up to that side view of him again. I want to point something out here. Watch the way he moves. Like, pay attention to his hands as he's talking, because we can't hear what he's saying. And look at the rhythm he's putting on a show with his hands. Like, while he's performing, his hands are moving in this like delicate, controlled way it's kind of cool to watch, and it accentuates the material itself. It accentuates the joke. he's moving his hands through the air, then it's like it's weird to watch. It's like he's doing a little dance while he's also telling the joke. His hands going up above his head to emphasize things.
That's
his
coke
hands
hands.
moving around. No, it's not. It's performers' hands. He's just a really great stand-up, and he's
CP kicking
moving.
in.
This is not a guy just standing in front of a microphone talking. There's a way that he's moving that was also funny. It was like it's cool to watch. Like there's a rhythm to the way he would like go in and out, like he's relaxing you by walking. He's in between bits, you know, and now he's starting on another one and the hands start moving again. It's like he's doing a puppet show or something. You know, I mean, look at the way he moves. Like we're not hearing him, so we can only see him, but we can hear the rhythm in the type of material he was doing just by the way he's moving his hands. And there was like that was part of what his act was. It was his actual physical movements were funny. They were vulnerable. They were gentle. They were rhythmic, and they were hypnotic. Like there was a hypnotic aspect to the way he actually moved.
But I guess not all of them, but a lot of good comics have that element, I think.
Sure.
Because you have to stay captivating.
Oh yeah,
For
we all
that time.
do.
And then there's the people who get called on like their 40. I mean, that was like the dig on. I came in comedy at a time where like I didn't know Dane Cook enough to be like, ugh, that asshole's making it. But there was a lot of around me people that, you know, it's like, oh, he's just herking and jerking around on stage, and that's all it is, and kind of a bunch of nonsense. But I was like, I don't know, I think there's something to it. I mean, there was definitely an element of what he did with that brought something to what he did. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'd be lying if I said Dane Cook didn't make me laugh. I mean, I've laughed at a bunch of stuff.
Well, a bunch of people enjoyed his movements, you know, but there's a thing about that style of comedy, and like, okay, here's a better example, like Emo Phillips. Emo Phillips, that shit works when you're 25. That shit works when you're 35. But when you're 45, people start going, hey, man, why are you talking like that? You know, like, why are you doing that? Like, what is that? That I'm pretending
Especially
that
when
I'm someone that I'm not.
Especially when you pull the curtain.
Yes.
On that.
And you do interviews and shit. Like Bobcat. Bobcat had to abandon his early persona. He's pretty open about that. He talks about it. But his... You know...
Yeah.
He would have this crazy, like, wild fucking pulling his hair and scream, and then eventually say some really funny shit.
And you could watch that one. I don't remember what it was called, but I remember renting it at a video store when I was younger. He was wearing like a sleeveless cowboy shirt almost on the cover of it, and he's like super sweaty, and he was drinking Tab Colas, but he actually stops doing. He never announces it. Just somewhere in the middle of the set, that fades away. That character he's doing.
Huh. Well, he probably got annoyed with it after a while.
But in the middle of that actual set is when, I mean, he still had the long hair and everything. It was like he was just stops doing it in the middle, which I thought was odd. But yeah, when you commit to that character full time, and you do have to worry about that. Emo Phillips is a good example. I wonder about Mitch Fattel. I like Mitch very much. You know Mitch Fattel, right? Like I mean, like I've worked with him recently. It's when you're starting to show age on your face, it's hard to be like the man child. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's still a tiny guy, so it works and everything. But it's not even about just like how long will it? Like
right.
There may be a very definitive brick ceiling on that.
Yeah, like a bomb shelter type ceiling. Yeah, man. Like the Emo Phillips was the big one. That was a big one because I remember watching him all of a sudden just do regular stand-up, and I was like, ooh. But I watched like a transitionary time where he wasn't just doing regular stand-up. He was kind of like doing a softer version of his old self, the way he used to do comedy.
Oh yeah, I saw him on At Midnight doing it, which was weird.
He was doing it on that show. He was talking like that.
Yeah,
Weird.
Very weird.
I mean, you can't fault it if it works.
Hi, Chris Hardwick.
How do you properly dispose of bacon grease?
You got to throw it in the garbage. Or
In the garbage? You're allowed in the garbage?
Yeah, you can throw it in the garbage.
Not in the pipes.
Don't throw it in the pipes. It's like, I mean, it's like flesh. You know, it's like if you want to get rid of fat. How would you get rid of fat? You wouldn't
Outdoors
just
is
throw
okay?
it, throw it outside?
Yeah.
I mean,
Like on a tree?
Why would you put it on a tree? You mean under a tree?
Yeah.
Like it's like fertilizer?
Just dry my dog nuts.
Turn that shit into soap like Fight Club, dude.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Didn't they use human bodies for Fight Club or something like that?
Yeah, it was
that
a
part of
human fat.
Yeah, human fat from a liposuction clinic or something like
Yeah.
that. Aren't they doing a Fight Club too?
The comic book.
Just wrote the book, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You
Planick just wrote the book.
Oh, he just wrote the book.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, is it done?
I think it just came out or it's about to come out.
Yeah.
Oh.
My friend did the cover or artwork for it.
Really? No shit. So are they going to make another movie?
I hope so. It's the best movie ever.
It was not.
You
the
hope
best
there's a
movie
part
ever.
two?
That was
Oh,
so
yes.
not the best movie ever.
I love Fight Club. Have you rewatched that?
Of course I rewatched
Sure.
it. It's fun.
I like the movie Heat a lot, but I don't want a Heat 2.
It's fun up until the moment where you find out that he's the same guy, and you're like, get the fuck
Yeah,
out of here.
I like that shit. You watch Memento?
Yeah, yeah. Memento was good.
You hated
Both-
that. You hated the switcheroo at the end.
Yes,
there,
it was so
these people.
stupid. Like, oh, you're the same guy as this guy that you've been following around and who's been teaching you to fight. That's you. You just forgot, and now you remember. Oh, great! And then you're gonna blow up a building or something stupid. Like, get the fuck out of
I
here.
wish that would happen to me.
When I watch it, I've been convinced to enjoy it much more. But when I saw it in the theater the first time, and that was like one of the first movies in a theater I saw that was like a little odd and different. You know what I mean? Like I usually just kind of went and saw like whatever the blockbusters were. I was pretty middle of the road on my movie taste at that age. But like when I went to go see that, I was like, it was so bizarre at the ending. I was like, I just kind of lost. I didn't even get it. I mean,
It
I got
also-
that he was the same person, but I was just like, this just looked like a weird shit at the end of the movie.
It also, for me, falls into that same sort of category as the fake Jimi Hendrix guitar thing. I'm watching people beat the shit out of each other. I'm like, look, nobody wants the fuck beaten out of them. You're certainly not going to get a whole basement of dudes willing to beat the fuck out of each other. It's just not going to happen.
And then like,
You get
we'll
hit-
die for you.
Let me tell you something. You get hit once. You get really bare-knuckled once in the face. Very unlikely you're going to keep doing that. Very unlikely. Showing up at work with black eyes all the time. Like, really? Why wouldn't you just learn how to fight at a martial arts school, you fucking idiot? You're going to meet with some asshole in a parking lot. You guys are going to beat each other's brains out. You're going to get on top of, yeah, you ain't pretty anymore. Remember that when Jared Leto?
Jared Leto.
You beat him bloody until his fucking face was swollen? Come on.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
I thought. What'd you feel about? What'd you feel about? I thought one of the dumbest scenes to me was when Edward Norton was that 25th Hour. Did you ever see that at the end when he's like, I can't go on looking this pretty, so beat me up. He goes, you're gonna be pretty again in like a couple weeks, man. like you're just gonna buy your butthole like 4 weeks. Like, just go in pretty and fight that guy. Like try to fight the guy who's trying to fuck your butt.
How stupid is that? I can't
That was
go
the
in
dumb thing is,
pretty.
he's that certain he's gonna get fucked in the ass right away.
I guarantee that's some more Hollywood fuckery. That's some
that
jackass
story?
who's never been punched saying, "I think he should go in beat up. He's going to get his buddy to beat him up. This is the big turn."
Like unmercifully,
Accepting-
by the way.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a crazy beating.
You lose your vision from those sometimes. Sometimes you lose your sense of smell. These guys lose their taste. They can't taste things after they get punched in the head. They literally don't know what things taste like. Like this idea that somebody's just going to punch you and you just get all bruised up a little. It's not a Charlie horse, okay? He's punching your fucking brain. Punching where you store your brain. This is the container where your brain's in. And it only has so many times it could even move like that.
I'm getting bounced off the curb.
Get the fuck out of here. It's just ridiculous. The trivialization of brain hemorrhaging and brain trauma and beat downs like that. It's like, I can't go along with that. I know too much. I've seen too many people get the fucking brains beaten out of them. I've seen it too many times. So I didn't like Fight Club. But Ex Machina.
Didn't like
it.
Do you like Warrior?
Yes, but it was bullshit. You can't fight 2 days in a row. You just can't.
Yeah.
You'd be so fucked up from the first fight. No one
You'd be better
would
off
ever
to, you'd be better
medically
to fight
cleared.
back to back.
Yes.
I would take
back to
Meatloaf
back in one
titties
day.
any day over that movie.
Well, I think Fight Club is a better movie than Warrior. It's definitely a better,
As a movie,
well,
yeah,
better,
sure.
much better movie. It's just that one reveal. Like I could almost deal with the idea that these guys like were filled with angst so much they wanted to beat each other up just so they could feel alive. I could kind of get that for a little bit, but no one had any technique. No one. That doesn't make any sense to me. The guys wouldn't actually learn how to fight.
Look at that sweet
Meatloaf's titties.
titties.
But what was I going to say?
You bought into the fact that they were.
Just that the
they would wanna
turnaround, the
fight.
flip, the reveal that he was the same guy was just so dumb.
And it became
It's
like a
you
cult,
can't
this
do
whole dumb
that.
thing, yeah.
You can't pretend that he was just, it was just a dream.
do
like
not-
your whole movie's based on like a switcheroo. Like the whole movie's a big switcheroo.
Did not see the latest episodes of Grey's Anatomy then when Mr.
Well,
McDreamy
don't
dies.
have to worry about that. You do not
there a
have to worry
switcheroo?
about that
Is
at
Is there a
all.
switcheroo?
Oh, there's 1,000 horrible switcheroos in that.
You do not have to
Shit.
worry about me watching that.
That's what the ending of Dexter
No, don't
just did the shittiest
don't
thing
do
of
it
all
to me.
time.
Don't do it to me.
So much.
I can't do it.
It was horrible.
Well, that was one of the things that I really appreciated about that Ex Machina movie is there's none of that. Every scene in that movie. Did you see it?
No, I'm seeing it
Jamie,
tomorrow.
you saw it.
Tomorrow.
It's fucking badass. It's so smart. It's so well done. Like you buy every step of the way. Like there's never one part in the movie where you're like, get the fuck out of here.
Is it a dark flick? Pretty dark.
Oh, it's good, dude. It's good. It's creepy. It's good. It's like it puts you in a position you're like, fuck, I don't know, man. It's about AI. I can't tell you, bitch. It's about AI. It's pretty fucking good, man. Like one of the best movies I've seen in many years. Have you seen this Elon Musk thing, the Tesla Firewall? This new, very affordable solar power battery that he's invented. That's $3,500. They could charge a fucking whole house.
Wow.
A total game changer. Have you seen this shit, Jamie? It's incredible. There's a video. If you go on my my Twitter feed, there's a video that I retweeted that somebody sent me, a YouTube video of him explaining it. It's a fucking complete, total game changer when it comes to batteries and wall-mounted units. You could stack as many as 9 of these wall-mounted units. They're $3,500, which is like solar power was like really prohibitively expensive for most people, like super, super expensive. Those batteries, the tech's all fucked up. They stink. They overheat. They're dangerous. But apparently, this fucking dude has nailed it. I don't know. I mean, I'm obviously not a fucking expert on batteries, but people are very, very excited about this fucking thing.
We'll take our air cars. We'll take our air cars to go buy one.
Yeah, give us some volume. We'll close out with this because we got to get the fuck out of here.
It's 20 minutes long.
Well, give us just a little bit of volume here, Jamie. Play a little bit of it. Look at a beautiful man, beautiful Iron Man type motherfucker.
This is a product we call the Tesla Powerwall, and if you look back against that wall, you'll see a whole bunch of them as well in different colors.
How long before this guy makes an Iron Man suit?
You can pick your favorite color.
Right. He's Iron Man,
and it looks like a beautiful sculpture on the wall. So it's very important. I mean, I want to point out a few things that are very important about this. The fact that it's wall-mounted is vital because it means you don't need to have a battery room. Okay, you don't have to have some room filled with nasty batteries. It means that a normal household can mount this on their garage or on the outside wall of their house, and it doesn't take up any room. I mean, it's flat against the wall. It has all of the integrated safety systems, the thermal controls, the DC to DC.
You can home this guy just like a fat wife and a moo-moo.
This
is some other part of life just awful.
Like this guy is like a guy in a movie.
It addresses all the needs.
So watch that, folks, if you want to watch, because we're out of time here.
The future.
But this guy's like a guy in a movie. He's like a super billionaire genius inventor from a movie. I mean, he makes a car that everybody falls in love with. It's got a goddamn laptop in the middle of it. You ever seen those?
Yeah, my friend.
I haven't driven one.
Aubrey's got one.
I heard it's amazing.
Yeah,
there's no feeling of shift at all. It's just this acceleration.
There's a new one that comes out next year though. That's going to be a lot better. I heard.
Well, I don't think it's. I don't know if it's next year. A new Tesla or
new Tesla.
Well, he had a new model that he debuted that's unbelievably fast. It's 0 to 60 in like 3-something seconds.
It's all electric,
insane.
right?
All electric. But they still can't go to Vegas. You still can't go to Vegas.
Why?
You have to stop. You have to stop halfway there and charge up in the middle of the fucking desert at some creephead fucking weirdos stop where you plug in and you got to wait for half an hour while they circle you like buzzards because they know you can't go anywhere. Hey, man, you can't even drive with that right now. If you going to drive with that right now, how far you think you get?
How long does it last? How long does it last?
You might get 350 miles out of a tank. You know, a charge, rather. You might. But if you're driving fast, you won't. If you're driving fast, it's going to eat it up.
Using more
really
power.
Quick. Oh, yeah.
It's like having a bunch of apps open.
Yeah. It's going to eat it up. So, like, when it starts lowering, it dims the inside lights. It does all this shit to, like, Aubrey has one. He almost died out on his way home one night because he left it at his office. And when you leave it somewhere, it slowly drains the battery. Yeah. Like, you can't leave it and just go away for 3 weeks and come back to a fully charged up battery. It'll be hurting.
Yeah, it's like having your iPhone and just leaving it on the kitchen table for a week.
Leaving it on. Yeah. Because it's also an iPhone, like a cell phone. It's got a 3G connection, only 3G, which is whack. Yeah. But it's constantly connected to the internet. So like you could say, Google flock of seagulls. And it'll pull up Flock of Seagulls, and you'll start play Flock of Seagulls, and it'll give you some options, and you can just start it'll start streaming like out of nowhere.
That's what I would have picked.
That's what I know. That's why I said it. I knew it was your shit, man. What is your shit? If you're going to talk to your Tesla, what would you tell it? Why you wear your Punisher shirt?
Oh man, it depends. Depends on the mood. Quite honestly, it could be metal. It could be a, Little River Band, a bunch of goofy soft rock hits.
If you want to
or
see
80s music or rap or whatever, yeah.
if you want to see a really bad movie, see the Dolph Lundgren version of The Punisher.
horrible,
I remember
horrible
that.
movie.
I went to the theater for that. I think.
Did you ever see the short they did with Thomas Jane? Is it Thomas Jane who played him?
Well,
at
here's
that
it's
point?
even better. It's so bad, and it's low resolution back then, right? And so he couldn't grow a beard, and the Punisher had to have a beard. So they smudge makeup on
Yep.
his face to pretend it's a beard. See if you can pull it up, and we'll end with this because we'll get a nice hearty man laugh. See as all three of us can grow an actual beard. Look at this pussy, this Dolph Lundgren. Meanwhile, he's a stud.
Yeah.
Bruce Jenner
Karate
understands.
champion.
Bruce Jenner's the only person who understands.
Yeah, with Bruce Jenner, he has it all lasered off. Fuck.
Can I say my podcast before everyone gets mad at
Legion
me?
of Skanks?
Legion of Skanks, and the SDR show is on All Things Comedy, the same as Ari's.
What is the
So,
SDR show?
Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll. Just interview porn stars and rock stars.
You guys are crazy.
But we
Anyway, it's all-
interview Tesla, but not that guy. The band Tesla.
Oh, my
That's the kind of
goodness.
interviews we do. Yeah, it's fun, very fun.
Is it available on iTunes? All of them available on iTunes?
All available on iTunes. SDR show is on All Things Comedy.
See if you could go back to see if you find a good picture of his face, like a Google image, because it's so stupid.
I couldn't.
You couldn't? Oh, I guarantee you, there's one.
Well, I had
Look at this fucking the smudgy.
There we go. Right there.
It's so fake. He's got like fake beard on. It's like a really no, that's not it. It's not,
Well, it's funny if you see the one where he's
These are
got the
all-
bullets on his chest. Like you could see when it's too light that he has no beard at all.
yeah.
Oh,
It's hard to
Hated
tell.
that
Look
movie.
there, you can tell a little bit there.
that movie pissed me off.
He's like a 12-year-old Cuban kid.
Well, he was so good as Drago, though.
He was so good as Drago.
Yeah, and that's what the Punisher would have looked
Yeah,
like.
but Brigitte Nielsen was so good as Mrs. Drago, and she fucked Flavor Flav eventually. So, you know, we all have our ups and peaks and valleys, y'all.
We're gonna end with that because that shit's real as fuck.
Hey, can I probably
Remember
push a date?
Brigitte Nielsen? Yeah, remember
Peaks and
how hot
valleys.
she used to be.
Smoking a
yeah,
Cobra?
there's Wednesday night at the Comedy Store is a ridiculous show.
Yeah, we got Sarah Silverman,
8:30.
you, Greg Fitzsimmons, Tony Hinchcliffe, Brody Stevens, and a bunch of surprise people. But May 12th, San Francisco at the Punchline with Tony, and May 13th in Sacramento. Tickets are on sale at Punchline Comedy.
And DeathSquad.tv for all the dates.
Yep.
If you don't remember it.
Yep.
And Red Band on Twitter if you want to just do you have your dates up on your iTunes or your Twitter page?
Yeah, they're at tour dates at DeathSquad.tv.
Powerful Jay Oakerson. I'm glad we could do it again.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, anytime you're in town, let me know. We'll hook it up. We'll keep doing it. Always a good time, my friend. Again, follow Big J Oakerson on Twitter. Website,
BigJComedy.com.
Big J Comedy, you fucks. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Many, many more podcasts this week. See ya. Bye-bye. Big guys.